Sorry, just have to. So your risk profile is very, very key. You must sit down before you begin to make investment decision this year and ask yourself, what amount of risk can I take? And that will form the first thing, objective. What is your objective? Is the objective capital preservation? Are you looking at a stream of income? Some people might say, okay, I want to be making XYZ income every month to take care of my family. Now, such money are not money you need to go and put in capital market or instruments that to sell becomes a problem. So you must detail out the objective. What is my objective? What is the time frame I'm looking at? Am I looking at 1 year? Am I looking at 2 years? Am I looking at 6 months? Am I looking at 3 months? Now, if you are looking at 6 months, for example, those are not money you begin to put in equities. Those are not money you put in derivative instruments. Those are not money you put in debentures or bonds. So you must ask yourself, what is the time frame I'm looking at? Access to cash. Now, do you have a nearby cash? What I would call liquid cash or asset that you can easily convert to cash. You know, some people say, okay, I want to invest this money, but when there's an unforeseen circumstance, I want to liquidate it. Now, if that is the case, you have to put that money in a nearby instrument, something that you can liquidate easily. So you won't be talking of equity. You won't be talking of derivative, preferential shares, or even real estate. So you must look at the instrument, your objective first. Then your age. What is my age? How old are you now? Very, very key. You can be a 60-year-old person and you'll be taking a very high risk. But if you are so young, you are still in the middle age, you just started work, you just started your life, good. You can take a substantial risk. Then your income, you have to consider your income also. If you don't have so much income, it's not money that you have to play with, that you have to take excessive risk with. So part of what we've done, we put a graph there. You have the higher the return, let's say, the higher the risk. So this is just a capital market instrument that will put treasury bills. If you're that type, you don't love risk, you might be looking at this. Bonds, debenture. You see the way as we are graduating, as we are moving, your return is increasing. At the same time, your risk is also increasing. So very, very key. Then the next thing we are looking at is why we are here. Where can I make money? So what we've done is have different asset class and portfolio allocation. The reason why we feel if you allocate a certain percentage to those equity class and the average returns in the past. Now, this is not a cast in stone. It's just for you a guide for you to make a decision. So you cannot do this without doing the other slide that we just finished. The factors you need to consider. So having considered those factors, you now move to your asset class. In 2024, Where should you be looking at? Look at the equity market. Look at the equity market. Although this time I'll talk extensively on the capital market. Now, there are a lot of opportunities in the capital market, and that's why we're saying do 40% in the capital market. There'll be more listing, which will lead to more capitalization. There's investors' confidence in the market. Between January and now, a lot of people, they've made money. Some stock, they've done more than 30%. Some people done more than 40%. Just in a month. Last year, the market did about 49 points, I think about 49.8% last year. So if you have an index fund that mirrors the market, meaning that you would have made 45% on your income. So the average return for the past 10 years, 10%. What contributed to it is the oil and gas, 18%, banking, 25%, consumer and goods. They also put real estate there. You can also look at real estate. There are a lot of potentials, especially residential properties and commercial properties. Now, another thing you have to observe is that the body language of the government shows that interest rate is likely to fall. Now, if interest rate falls, there'll be mortgage financing will be encouraged, because you see most commercial bank, mortgage banks want to give you a facility to build. That's what you have there is the average return for the past 10 to 15 years in commercial properties and residential property, which we call alternative asset class. You can also look at fixed income instrument. For those that don't like risk, you might just have to do more of fixed income. So we are looking at 10%. Now, if you are not a risk lover, which means that you have to do a asset allocation, you can look at treasury bills. Now, yes, a bit of capital preservation with treasury bills. Your funds are safe, but the return is not as juicy as equity. But you are sure of constant return. Then for bond also, we have corporate bonds, we have government bonds. These days, there are a lot of government bonds outside. Yes, Sukuk, that is for the Islamic bonds. Then we have cryptocurrency. You can also look at that. Although it's highly risky because the volatility is high, but people say it is freedom money. And there are a lot of government that actually come to that reality or to the acceptance of this currency. You know, before now, there are a lot of bans here and there, but being a freedom currency, a lot of government, they are embracing it. Just price appreciation. And if you're in Nigeria, you have the gap between the parallel markets. So if you look at Bitcoin, for example, for the past 10 years, annualized return is almost 114%. There, another area you might want to look at also is agri. Now, when I say agri, we're not saying you must go to the farm to produce. There are a lot of opportunity around agri, around the value chain. There are a lot of commodities you can structure around agri. The good thing about it, for those of you in Lagos or in Nigeria, there's a commodity exchange in Nigeria, in Lagos. So what you need to do is to look for somebody that want to sell and want somebody that want to buy. So you can play along the value chain and make good money this year. Instead of complaining, where can I make money? Then part of also done is to look at, okay, if you want to play in the equity market, where should I look at? Telecoms. You can look at MTN. For industrial, you can look at Dangote Cement, Boa Cement, Boa Foods. For agri, you can look at Ogun. For banking, you can look at Zenith Bank, UBA, Access Bank. For consumer goods, you can look at Guinness. I've also stated some of the reasons why you should look at this. So, now if you are going to do the equity market, this is where they started from. This is where we are. So let's look at the market infrastructure. Let's look at the market infrastructure. Who are the players? Now here is to give you a comfort. When we talk about the capital market, we are not talking of M&M. We are not talking of products that that people will run away with your money. So we have regulators. If you see at the top there, we have SEC, Security and Exchange Commission. The big man up there, watching over everything that is happening in the market. I had issue of saying some people in the past that would talk to me, the reason why I don't want to do equity is because I'm scared, so that some people will not go with my money. No. As a matter of fact, if anybody invests for you in the capital market and you're having issue and you write to SEC, under 5 days, they will respond to you. That's the beauty of it. So we have SEC on top there, we have NGS, we have FMDQ, that's for fixed income. We have NSD, that's for your commodity. Now, what are the instruments you should be looking at if you want to do the equity market or capital market? I mean to say capital markets. What are the instruments? You'll be looking at equity, you'll be looking at bonds, you'll be looking at derivatives. You'll be looking at real estate investment trusts, mortgage-backed security, asset-backed security, exchange trade funds. Then what is the structure of the market? Before we look at all this, we have the primary market, we have the secondary market. For the primary market, this is a market for short-term instruments. For an instrument to qualify as a money market instrument, it must be short. As a matter of fact, it must be less than a year. So those are short-term instruments. Any instrument above that, we're talking about the secondary market, which is a market we are trying to look at. Now, before we begin to look at this, let's take it further so that we can look at, okay? I'm going to discuss, there's something I'm going to discuss. Okay, which is this structure, primary market and secondary market. For the primary market, we are talking of initial public offers. If you are coming to the market for the first time. Now for secondary market, we are looking at instruments that are there already. We are like, now what we are trying to say is that it's a market. Now what we exchange in that market is securities. We have people that want to sell. We have people that want to buy. Now, there's a platform where they make it just like you want to buy fish. You have your money, you go to the market, you pay, you get fish, then you give the person money. The same thing also happens in the capital market. So when you come to the capital market, you have people that want to buy shares. We have people that want to sell. So what happens? You give the person that wants to sell shares money, and the person sell is holding to you. Now what we will ask is, they want the shares. Why is, I don't understand. I've not done anything in this ecosystem, so I don't understand what shares is. When you talk of shares, you're talking of a unit of ownership in a company. Let's take First Bank, for example. For those of you that bank with First Bank, I would have loved to own First Bank, but I don't have the money. No, you don't need to have all your money. What you just need to do is to buy their shares. And you are part owner of First Bank. You are a part owner of First Bank. So what you do is you come to the market. It's okay. You look for somebody that wants to sell First Bank, and you pay the person, and the person give you his holding in First Bank. That transaction, it consummated, you become a part owner of First Bank, although you are a minority shareholder. But as a minority shareholder or as a shareholder, what are the benefits? One, capital appreciation. Now, if you buy First Bank, let's say at 10 naira, and First Bank move from 10 naira to 12 naira, you've made 2 naira. That is what we call capital appreciation. So you made capital, you can sell, and you come out of the market. Another thing you also stand to gain is dividend. Now, once there's dividend payment or dividend announcement, and you're in the register as at the closure of their books, of their register, dividend announcement, you are entitled to dividend. So dividend is part of the earnings of the company that the company give out to the people that are holding their shares. Then, for some shareholders, they can also vote. You can go to the AGM and vote. So those are some of the things. So now, if you want to, okay, these are some of the stocks that performed wonderfully last year. You can see their PE ratio, their market capitalization, their dividend yield, revenue average, and the risk. So let's look at factors that drive markets. There are a lot of factors. We have external factors, we have internal factors. When you look at internal factors, we're talking about company performance. Look at their corporate governance, their financial results, their management capability. Can these people deliver what the stakeholders are looking at? Did they have the capacity? Did they have the technical know-how? What is their strategic vision? What is their leadership strength? So these are some of the things you look at before you begin to say, okay, I want to invest in GT Bank. In February, it means you're able to sit down and say, who are the owners of GT? Then their results. What is their profitability for the past 10 years? Is there a steady growth in their revenue? They have positive earnings? What is contributing to their earnings? Now, if there's a government policy that affects that particular channel that contributes maybe 70% to their earnings, if there's a policy, meaning that that policy will affect the earnings. And what will you do? You will invest in that stock. The industry where they are just affected. External factor, interest rates. What is the effect of interest rate on? If you have a company that is listed, let's say a financial services company that is listed, and interest rate is very high, what will be the effect? Inflation, when there's inflation, what is the impact of inflation on that particular company? That will affect the stock, the share price, or the stock price. Economic growth, political, regulatory environment, the market sentiment. We won't talk about market sentiment, people might just investors confident about that particular stock. This stock, GT, for example, people just like the brand GT. And that might just form their opinion to just buy GT. So if we have, let's say 20 people in the room that just love GT, and they are buying GT always, the price of GT will go up. So global events. Now, the other thing I will look at before we begin to take questions is strategic positioning, which is not part of this slide. Strategic position. Now, if you are going to play in the market, you must be able to take strategic position. I call it strategic position. Don't join the bandwagon that buy when the price is high. You buy when the price is low. What does that mean? When people are selling, there's what we call in technical analysis a supporting line. Now, which means that you should be able to determine the supporting line of every stock. So if people are selling, okay, don't let me even make it so complex because some of you are new to it. What you just need to do is to check 52 weeks low. You can get it in newspaper. You can also go price, stock price list. Check 52 low, price low. Check that price. That is the lowest it has traded for the past 52 weeks. Check it and check the high. Once it's getting close to that low, there's always a supporting that supports it. Hardly, if you do your analysis very well, you discover that once it's hitting that price, it moves up again. If somebody goes set down to that price, before you look at it, it move up. Then there's a resistant price also. Once it's hitting that price, you discover people will be selling. So you as an investor should be able to determine what is the supporting line and what is the resistant price. So that will help you to know when to buy and when to sell. So thank you very much. Let me take question.
Thank you very, very much, sir. Quite an enlightening session. I learned so much in such a short time, and I think I have enough from that very short session to be able to take on the market this year. So I want to open the floor for questions, but I have the first question for you, and I will just use that to start the Q&A session for the next 5 minutes. I noticed in the top performance last year, I noticed Transcorp and UBA, if I'm correct, were the top performers, were one of the top performers. So I want to ask a question that is the public profile of the principal of a company um, any, is there a direct correlation between the level of the public profile of the principal of a company and the share price of that company? Because we see the same thing on in the larger stocks on the global scale, where people like Elon Musk, that as their public profiles are rising, the share prices are rising. So I want to ask whether it is a coincidence or it's a given fact.
I
Thank
think
you.
that's a beautiful one. I think you've answered the question. Now, if you look at when we are looking at factors that affect the share price, we talk about leadership. We talk about the management, people around that shares. Now, if you look at the body language of the present government, you discover that it favors the real owner of UB and Transcorp. So there's this belief, which is just like saying, okay, you see an MD of First Bank and you be in a meeting, and the following day you are hearing that there's merger. So you should be able to conclude that yesterday they were discussing merger and acquisition. You understand? So now, even beyond that, if you also look at UBA, they are doing a lot of investment, a lot of that cut across Africa. And also, they've also joined the list of the trillion capitalized stocks.
Yes. Both UB and Transcorp.
So you expect that. Then another thing you have to also look at is, okay, let's take the price of this stock we are talking about. It's even less than, we are talking of cent if you compare it to a dollar. I mean, if you look at a dollar, for example. So if UBA, for example, is to be listed in a Turkey exchange, will it trade at that price? You understand? So there are a lot of factors around that. They're very key.
Thank you very much.
Management.
Thank you very much, sir. We have two people with questions. We have Boye and we have Ajani. Mr. Boye Abe will take your question now.
Yes, I can hear.
Mr. Boye, Mr. Ajani, we can take your questions now. Okay. Okay, sir. In the absence, any other person with a question from the house? Any other person with a question from the house? Question for our speaker. Or does our speaker have a question for us?
No question.
Okay, sir. Thank you very, very, very much. We learned put quite a lot, loaded quite a lot of information in that short period. And at least, if for anything, we should learn our individual risk profiles and be able to profile ourselves and determine where we are and what kind of investments we can make. So thank you very, very much, sir. God bless you. and wish you a wonderful day and an excellent year. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So we'll be going to our next session now. I hope we're all learning, we're all taking notes. I hope you have your notepad and your pen beside you and you are taking all the notes. Because what you are doing today is gearing yourself up to ensure that this year is far better financially than last year. And so our next speaker is a personal finance coach and an investment with over 15 years experience covering banking and financial advisory. And what she'll be speaking on today is how to plug those holes of leakage, because many of us are earning so much and it doesn't seem as if uh, we have anything to show for all the income we are making. Some of us have businesses and salary paying jobs, and still it seems like it's not enough. So today we are going to be learning how to maximize the income we have and to block leakage, as well as multiply that income. And I want us to pay attention and let those claps come up as we welcome Buki Aregbesola, Chief Coach of Buki.ng. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I'm so glad to be here, and I want to say thank you for the invitation from the Cutting Edge team. Give me a second to share my screen, and then we'll start. I'm having some issues sharing my Mr. Inka, can you share it for me, please? There's some permission issues on my system.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think I'm fine now. Okay.
Can we see it?
Yes, I can. Thank you very much. Okay. Today, I'm going to be talking about blocking leakages in our personal finances and how to build lasting wealth. And I'm going to start off with a disclaimer, because even I myself am honestly looking for how to fix, these things in my own life as well. And I'll tell you why. So much is happening locally in our own region and even abroad. So much so that things that we used to think, was the way before now. So much is changing, so much has changed. Like, it doesn't even matter if you were a finance student before now, or maybe you studied finance in school and all of those things. So many things we knew back then, not that they don't work anymore, but all the changes happening in the economy is also keeping us on our own toes to ensure that we don't relax, on past information or past knowledge of things we used to know, but that we also keep learning. And I'll give you examples of some of these things as we go through the presentation. Next page, please. The last speaker had talked extensively about, a lot of issues that have happened in the economy between last year and now that are so major and is impacting everybody in one way or the other. And I think particularly in Nigeria, one of the effects of all of these issues is the fact that people who were or who saw themselves as maybe middle class before last year are beginning to realize that they are no longer in the middle class. Even people who saw themselves as maybe ultra rich are beginning to realize that maybe they are now the new middle class. And what that means is that you now need to go back to the drawing board to figure out how you can get back. And I mean, it is not strange because a lot of times, even when Forbes and all of these magazines release ratings of maybe the richest man in Nigeria or the richest man in Africa, you see sometimes the person that was on number one, maybe the year before, can drop to number two. The fact is, these things are real. Your net worth can be on one level today and it can drop tomorrow, or it can even grow. The point is, nobody can afford to relax and think that because they've already achieved, something, a level of growth. And so I'm not saying don't take a rest from time to time. The rest is part of enjoying your wealth, enjoying your money, but you need to keep one eye on your investments, on your finances, and so on and so forth, if you want to remain, at that level or even increase, basically. We've seen things like inflation, increase in depreciation, increase in the loss actually in the value of the currency. Last year, the price of diesel and petrol and all of that went up. And what we've essentially seen, everything, all of these issues, they've combined to reduce the disposable income of every single Nigerian, to be honest. Gone are those days when a middle class person could afford to buy a brand new car. Now, I'm not even sure it is that easy for most people to even aspire, to buy a brand new car anymore. So many things are going on in the economy today that a lot of people are right now just focusing on trying to make ends meet. And I think that's the main reason why we've put together this webinar. And I'm hoping that, my presentation will help at least one or two people to address, their finances and hopefully be able to build long-term wealth, which is what we're essentially focusing on today, looking at your personal finances, trying to identify where you are experiencing money leaks and block those leaks and start working towards building long-term wealth, really. Next page, please. Okay. So essentially, money leaks are small expenses that each one of us, everybody, there's nobody that is not going to say that this doesn't happen to them. Those small expenses that more often than not you don't plan for, or you just feel that, oh, it's a small expense, even though I didn't plan for it, I can, sort it out. I can do this, I can do that. But at the end of the day, when you print your bank statement and look at all of these expenses and essentially add them all up, you realize that the sum total of it can actually be significant, right? And it can have a significant impact on whether you achieve your financial goals for the month or for a period of time or not, which is why we're looking at all of those things today. A lot of times, things like maybe eating out, that small subscription. I remember a presentation I did last year where I'd said that there was a movie that came out and I wanted to watch the movie, but unfortunately it was on, was it Apple Plus or one of those subscription streaming platforms that I was not currently subscribing to. And I wanted to subscribe. I was actually going to subscribe, but then I can't remember how much the subscription was, and it may not have been a lot of money. But I said to myself that currently you are paying for DSTV, you are paying for Netflix. What do I want to do? I really need to add one more subscription to what I already have just because I want to watch, this particular movie. And so I said to myself, I wasn't going to do that. I would rather wait until maybe the movie comes on DSTV or watch it, from another person's streaming device rather than pay for this thing. And so we need to begin to look at all of those things now. You can't afford to look at that way of thinking as maybe you are being stingy or you are being too restrictive or you are being too hard on yourself, especially if you have a 9-to-5 job or your finances are dependent on your salary. And the reason is because your salary is a fixed amount, right? If you are maybe a business owner and maybe in that month you made more, or maybe you just have so many sources of income, you can afford to overlook some things. But if you are working, the whole of your personal finance is based on your 9-to-5 job, then these are things that you actually have to pay, attention to. Money leak symptoms, just like medical conditions, when you have symptoms, you go to the doctor to find out what is really wrong. And that's what we're looking at here, that you have money leaks when you are working hard, but at the end of the month, you are not able to keep 20 to 30% of your income, meaning that sometimes before the month even ends and you get your salary, you've already borrowed against that salary. Or by the time the salary comes, that first, as you get the alert, pending expenses that are piled up, before the end of that day, you pay for all of those expenses and you realize that what is left in your account is not even up to 20 to 30% of your income. And the month has not ended though. So that salary that is supposed to even sustain you for the next month, you are already struggling because you've, so many debits, you've paid for so many things. Secondly, at the end of the month, you have very little to show for how much you've made. You don't have money, you don't have cash, you cannot save, like you've already spent all your money. You can't even, in that particular month, you cannot even consider saving or investing because all the money is gone. Your savings is not growing because you cannot afford to even add to it, month on month. you are not feeling any closer to your financial goals, even though you are making, sometimes it could even be that you are making a lot of money, but as you are making the money, different expenses are coming up. Some of them may not even be your own expenses or your own needs, but people depending on you for one thing or the other, and you feel a responsibility to attend to their needs. And all of these things are just piling up and are not allowing you to achieve your own goals. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay. Types of money leaks. We have insufficient budgeting. Now, the honest truth is that if you want to be intentional about your finances, if you are determined to achieve your goals, then you will need to do whatever it takes. Sometimes you have to tell yourself that you are going to do whatever it takes to meet a goal. The same way, maybe you decide that this year I want to take on a professional exam, and you know that your life as it is already busy, but you just feel like you need to get this professional certification, and you tell yourself that whatever it takes, I will give it all it takes. If it is maybe an exam that is just for like a 1-year program, there are sometimes, I know we've all done that before, it could even have been when we were in secondary school, and you just tell yourself that whatever it takes, I want to maybe get an A in this course this month, or I want my GPA to be at this level at the end of this session. And so I will give it all that it takes. That is the same attitude and approach that you must develop when it comes to your money. So insufficient budgeting means that you either are not working with a budget, or your budget is faulty, right? Maybe you are not prioritizing your savings, or you are not prioritizing your investments, and you are still spending most of your money on expenses. So you have to get your budgeting right, and you have to stick to the budget, right? If you say that in this month I am only going to spend maybe 20,000 or 50,000 on Ashwebi, meaning that if it is one wedding that the Ashwebi is 50,000, that's the only wedding I am going to buy Ashwebi for. Any other wedding that comes up this month, I'm going to wear what I already have, irrespective of, no matter what anybody says. You have to be intentional. You have to stick to your decision. You have to stick to what you have said in that month so that you can achieve your goal for that month. There's no magic anywhere that anybody should be thinking exists to address their financial issues or to address their investments. There's no magic anywhere. All of these things are basic things that you maybe already know before now, but you are not practicing. You cannot avoid it. You have to practice these little things to achieve the results that you want. You don't have a choice, right? So budget right, create an emergency fund. Now, it was actually during the course of preparing this presentation, I realized the importance of an emergency fund, because I will not pretend to say that I also have an emergency fund, or I really thought it was, that important. But putting together this presentation, I realized that putting together this presentation taught even me quite, a few things, and I will share them with you today. One is the emergency fund, meaning that if you do not have an emergency fund, same thing with insurance, actually. If you do not have an emergency fund and you also don't have insurance, what you are doing is opening up yourself to risk. And the reason is because, take for instance, actually, I have an example. So I have a friend that came to me at the beginning of one of my colleagues at work, actually, that just said to me, Buki, you know what? I have had to go and pay for HMO. I had to get a health insurance because I was ill. I went to the hospital. I think it wasn't even like a serious ailment. It was, sometimes when you have a terrible flu, that the usual things that you take at home doesn't help. And so she had to visit the hospital. Before you pay registration fees in some hospital, the registration fee some hospitals take now is what maybe a hospital will take for the whole of your treatments in another maybe location or something. And you realize that just on one hospital visit, you're already spending maybe a quarter of your salary or even half if you live on the island, And so she said to me that this cannot continue happening. Already, my mom wants to visit a dentist, and I cannot even imagine how much I'm going to go and pay there. So you know what? I have gotten health insurance. And so even I myself, immediately she said that, I thought about it. I remember I thought about the last time I had to take my son to the hospital, my mom to the hospital, all in this year. I know how much I've spent. What did I do? I immediately also went and got health insurance. Because the reality is that in this Nigeria that we are right now, you cannot afford not to put some things in place. Before, insurance, especially in Nigeria, used to seem like, whoa, insurance companies just take my money. I'm not going to get an insurance. You cannot afford not to do some of these things now. If you are lucky and maybe the organization where you work, they already make provision for some of these things, all well and good. My advice would just be to say that rather than looking at health insurance like, whoa, these people are just taking my money. I never fall sick. I don't visit the hospital. And so paying health insurance for me is a waste. What I will say to you is, even if you don't fall sick, use the opportunity of having a health insurance to go for checkups. Make sure you get your yearly full body checkup. Get it done. If you use glasses like me, some of HMOs, depending on how much you pay for the premium, you can get new glasses. You can see a dentist, even if it's for scaling and polishing. The idea is that if you work in an organization where these things are already part of your package, use them. Don't say these people are wasting my money, I don't want health insurance. Use the health insurance. Use it to better your health. Health is wealth. Go for scaling and polishing. Do things. Use the insurance that you have, the opportunity that you have to ensure that you are fine, right? We need to start changing our mentality from insurance is useless to how can insurance help me? Not having an emergency fund or maybe not having comprehensive insurance on your car, what it does for you is when something happens, right? And maybe there's an accident, something happens, someone brushes your car and things like that. Expenses you did not plan for. You will now have to go and maybe that month, instead of putting money in your savings account or instead of investing, you will now have to use that money to repair your car or sort out whatever the emergency is because you did not plan ahead. The reality is that we all of us, there's nobody that can escape it. We all always have emergency situations from time to time. It may not be you, it could be someone in your family, it could be anything, right? And they call you up and they're like, this just happened, that just happened. And so because you don't have an emergency fund, you will then need to take money out of your budget that you did not plan for to meet these needs. Again, I'm going to say it's intentionality. When it comes to money this year, I think every other part of your life, your health, you have to be intentional in everything you do. As a matter of fact, as you are growing up, as a parent, as even as a worker in the office, you want to. Now, another thing that came up that occurred to me, or that I realized as I was preparing for today, was the fact that, I'm not going to lie to you, even your current salary, no matter how much it is, cannot help you build wealth again with the situation of the country. It cannot help you build wealth again. You need more. You need more than a steady salary to build wealth. You know, lack of, I'm not going to it. I would just make, there used to be a time in Lagos, in Nigeria, where maybe 500,000 or 1 million could buy a plot of land, even in Lekki here. Maybe not Lekki phase 1, but maybe Abraham Adesanya, and you know, all of that area. If you had 500,000 or 1 million, you could buy a piece of land. You cannot buy any now. I don't even know where around these Lagos environs that you can still get a plot of land for 1 million naira. I don't think it is available anymore. And so that's what I'm saying. Things are changing. Things are changing such that opportunities that were available then is no longer available now, or at least not for the same price, right? So and because a lot of companies, they don't increase your salary as inflation is going up, as the currency is losing value. They don't increase your salary to match, you know, the current realities. So what that means is that you need more. So, and another reason why you need more is, take for instance, you are earning in Naira, but the exchange rates or the currency, Nigeria's currency, is losing value, is depreciating. Some people, I've heard people say before that, I don't buy anything in dollars. I don't spend dollars. I'm not traveling. So the dollars does not affect me, and so on and so forth. Mr. Yinka, please, I can't see my presentation. I need to see my presentation, you know? And so they say, well, I can't really be bothered and all of that. Let me tell you, because Nigeria is an import-dependent country, so the things you buy, the things you eat, everything, the currency is affecting everything, right? And the depreciation is affecting the clothes you are wearing. Everything that you are buying is being affected by the change in the value of the currency. So whether you like it or not, these things affect you as well. So if it means that for some of you, you start looking for maybe another, you know, job that can pay you in dollars. Maybe if you can afford to have a second job that maybe is online or you in class. I'm not going to tell you that anybody planning with Naira now will easily be able to build wealth. I will be lying if I tell you that. You need to start broadening your horizon, right? To realize that maybe now you need to start earning in foreign currency if possible. I don't mean you have to travel out of the country, but you can get a job that pays you in foreign currency if possible. It may not be for everybody, but if you can, at least try, to seek this type of opportunities. Another thing I learned in the course of preparing this presentation, it came to mind now and I've forgotten it again. Okay. It will come back to me as I continue the presentation. So ways of plugging your spending leaks. I've said some of this. Be intentional. Be committed. You have to be committed. Now, first is to make plans. You plan by setting or by writing a budget, making a budget for yourself, especially if your income is limited. You have to get a paper and biro or an Excel to say that this is how much I earn. This is how I want to spend my money on a monthly basis. Already, based on past occurrence, you can get your financial statements, look at it, and make a plan. Say, this is how much I need for fuel. You have to be that detailed. Fuel, this is how much I've spent over the past 6 months. So this amount will be okay for me for a month. Feeding, rent, all of those things. You have some, we call them fixed costs. So put your fixed costs so that you can have an idea of how much you need for your needs, like the things that you cannot avoid doing on a monthly basis, feeding and all of that. And then the idea is that at the end of the day, you should be able to put a percentage of your money into emergency funds. Emergency funds are funds that you don't necessarily fix them. You can just put them in a high yielding savings account or something, but it must always be at your reach so that if anything comes up, you can easily have access to it. Then you put another percentage, 10, 15, it depends on you. Nothing is static. Put that in savings and then investments and so on and so forth. So you need to plan. You need to be intentional. You need to be detailed. You need to go into the nitty-gritty. Be very granular about your budget, right? You also need to recognize spending triggers. What are the things that make you spend? Is it constant hangout with your friends or your colleagues? Or is it maybe when you are feeling sad, you are feeling down, buying that bag or buying that shoe would usually cheer you up and things like that? If you can afford it, why not? If you can get somebody to buy it for you instead, why not? But if it is from your income, and especially if you do not make a plan for it or it is not in your budget, you need to find other ways to address how you are feeling instead of spending. You need to learn to say no, especially when, it is a frivolous ask. It is not a desperate ask, or maybe somebody's life is in danger and things like that. My time is short, so I'm going to be fast. Learn to say no, set spending limits, and all of that. Yes. So now we're going to focus on ways to build wealth, which is, why you are here. I'm going to start by saying that in order to build wealth, before, yes, what I wanted to say has come back to me. Before, a lot of people would say, well, I have a good job. As long as I save, I save more than I spend. And so as long as I keep saving, I keep saving, I keep saving. If you save and you don't invest, your money is constantly losing value because the currency is losing value. So that money that you have in your account is losing value. As inflation is going up, your money is losing value. So you cannot afford to say, because you are not a finance student, you are, and your discipline is engineering or whatnot. And so because of that, you don't know all these things. Ignorance is not an excuse. So you have to learn. That's number one. And then number two is that before I used to think that, oh, all of us, we can manage our finances by ourselves. You don't really need expert help or expert advice. I am going to tell you today, you need expert advice. You need help from people that know better. For those of you that were here when the last speaker was talking, he talked a lot about the capital market, the different instruments, and you could just tell by listening to him that he knew or he knows what he's talking about. He talked about buying stocks at the dip and not when prices are high and things like that. And I'm going to tell you for free, if it is not something that you are expert in, there's so much that you will not know. There's so much that you don't know. And even though it is good to want to know, to learn, the reality is you cannot learn everything all at once. Some of these things are so technical that even those of us that are good at it, we're still learning, right? So I would say expert advice, especially in this day and age, is very important. For me, what I do, to be honest with you, is as much as I try to learn on my own, especially about the stock market, but because I know that it wasn't something, I'm not an expert in that field, what I do is to give the experts, the financial advisors, the stockbrokers, and so on and so forth. I give them the majority of my money to invest for me. But because I also want to learn so that one day I can do it for myself. So what I'm also doing is learning technical analysis, learning how to dissect financial statements, learning how to do all of these things, learning, and I'm even trading some of my own money, but very small, because I am using it to learn. So that one day, when I have become an expert, then I can say, okay, all of you experts that are with my money and have been charging me fees and so on and so forth, give me my money. Now I know it, I can learn it for myself. But for you to say that you don't want to pay an expert and you want to do it by yourself, you make mistakes. I promise you will make mistakes. Some of those mistakes are, well, we all learn from our mistakes, right? But you don't have to learn from your mistake. You can learn from other people's mistakes, right? And save your own money. So he also talked about being strategic. Being strategic is very important. Your investments have to be strategic. You have to know what you are doing. You have to be intentional right, about building your investment portfolio, which is why, again, I would say you need expert help to do these things. Go on, please. Yes, financial education. So while you are learning, it's to learn. As a matter of fact, everybody has to become an accountant of their own finances. Everybody has to become the financial expert of their own finances, of their own family, whether you are a nurse or you are a doctor, whatever you are. If you want to build wealth, you have to learn finance, right? But in the meantime, as you are learning, first of all, ensure that, a significant portion of your money is being traded or is being traded with the help or the advice. If you are lucky and maybe someone in your family has finance experience, you may not need to pay for it if they are willing to help you. But if you don't have those things, please pay. pay the experts to help you, right? And then you keep learning. There are different ways of learning. On the internet now, social media, there are so many pages you can follow, so many people you can follow to learn. You can subscribe to financial content, and all of that. But it is also important that while you are learning, you are also making the right decisions with the help of experts. Go on, please. And then insurance. I talked about insurance before. Please and please don't take insurance with face value anymore. You need to pay more attention to insurance. The main one I would focus on is life insurance. What life insurance does for you is that if you do it right, even if you don't leave anything else for your children in this life, when you die, your children can have access to this life insurance, and depending on how much the payout is that they will get at that time, it may just be the game changer for them. Okay, so if you do not do any other type of insurance, please find out about life insurance. Look for the top insurance companies that you know that will outlast you, right? And make inquiries. Insurance is very good. Compounding. Now, the most important way to build wealth, the most effective way to build wealth, in my own opinion anyway, is compounding. And the reason is because to make the best use of your money, the investments that can give you the best, returns on your money, is the investment that pays you higher than inflation. And like the last speaker mentioned, inflation is already at what now? 28.9 or something. Yes. So you can imagine which investments will you find in this day and age that can pay you 28.9. If you find something like the stock market, you should be able to get such in the stock market if you buy the right stocks, if you know what to do and all of that. So bear that in mind, that the only way, if you cannot find investments that pay you higher than that, is to focus on compounding, right? And what compounding is let's say you have an investment, you earn the return. Maybe it's a 3-month investment or a 6-month investment. When you get the return, that interest, you don't spend that interest. You invest that interest again for another 6 months. When you get, the second interest at the end of another 6 months, you invest it again. So you are investing both your capital and your interest. So if you invested maybe 1 million and you got 100,000 on that 1 million, then you now reinvest 1,100,000, and you get maybe another 100K. Now it becomes 1,200,000, and you keep investing it like that. And what that means is, especially if you have a long-term goal, a long-term wealth building goal, you have to make sure that it is not money that you need to spend in the next 6 months or in the next 1 year. It has to be money that you want to invest for a significant period, maybe 10 years, 5 years. And so that particular money, all you are doing is adding to it. And as you are getting the interest, you are adding the interest on top of the principal. And it just keeps increasing your capital base. It keeps increasing your principal base, right? Because and what that also does for you is, peradventure, if you are struggling at the moment, you don't have extra money to invest, at least keep reinvesting your interest until you are able to sort out your finances and you are able to bring out new money. But keep reinvesting your interest, and that's how your capital base will be, growing. So I'm going to stop here. Thank you very much. I really do hope that I've been able to shed some light on, something that will help you this year. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Your mic is muted, sir. Olanka, your mic is muted.
The disposable income of people. I was saying thanks to our speaker, and how the disposable income of people is completely eroded. But the reality of it is that if we can maximize the income that we have and not lose, not allow it to leak, then at least we have something to build on. And I think the major message of the talk today was how to at least start with a foundation of ensuring that you have wealth to build on, and then subsequently multiply that wealth. I think the most interesting thing I learned was that I should try and get other people to buy the stuff I want to buy for me instead of spending my money on it. But thank you very, very much. I also learned to avoid excessive spending and to identify my spending triggers. So what are the things that I love to spend money on, and what are the things that trigger those spending? Is it that I go and hang out with this particular friend and then every time he wants me to pay the bill, so I should stop hanging out with that friend? Or if I feel a certain way and then it triggers me to want to buy a particular food or drink, then I should avoid such. And then one thing that is key that I should also emphasize is how we need to be intentional about our health when we are chasing wealth. I think a lot of times when we are chasing wealth, many times people then many times sacrifice their health. So the health insurance that was spoken of is something that we should all think about. So thank you very, very much. We appreciate that talk. We open the floor for questions now. If you have questions, you can please uh, chat. You can leave them in the chat room, or you can actually unmute yourself after raising your hands. But can we please at least give our speaker a round of applause? You can use the emojis to appreciate our speaker. So any questions? I would, as usual, I will open the floor for questions with my own question. So, Buki, I would like to ask about, because we spoke about spending triggers, and one of the greatest spending triggers are actually those families and friends, and especially in the third world, this part of the world, we are very social people. So many of us have dependents, we have extended and families. How do we deal with that? How do we build wealth and block leakages, especially when those leakages are our loved ones? How do we deal with that, please?
So like I mentioned earlier, everything is about having a plan and sticking to that plan and actually planning ahead. So because you know that those things are part of life, right? You must also plan for them. I like being realistic. And so I will say that it is sometimes when you are budgeting, right? You must budget for these things. no matter how small the amount, you must budget for it. And then also you have to learn to say no, not because you are being wicked, but because you know that the budget that you put aside for this particular purpose, you've already, maybe somebody came first and you've already attended to that person, right? And so, especially if it is not an emergency. So your no may not be, no, I'm not helping you. It can be, no, I cannot do this month, but I will put it in my plan and help you next month. Do you understand? But it doesn't have to be that your no is a final no. Your no is, no, I cannot do this now, but at so time, I should be able to help you. The reality is you cannot help everybody. And even God is not going to judge you for not being able to help everybody. And I would also say this, sometimes it depends on, I don't know, it depends on, every situation is different, right? Sometimes our way of helping people could actually be to empower them rather than always just trying to fix a leak or maybe giving them money. If you don't have a job, I would rather help you find a job than to be giving you money to eat and all of those things. But these situations are always very tricky and are always very difficult sometimes, because the person that you want to help find a job must be willing or be ready to work, you know. But in order not to drag it, I would just say, plan for these things. Once you've exhausted how much you've budgeted for it, they just have to wait, especially if it is not an emergency.
Thank you very much. That Sam there's a question. What's the best ratio for dividing your income to be able to invest and save adequately?
To be honest, everybody, this income, this ratio will be different for different people. And especially if you are just starting. Sometimes when you are just starting, it will not be that easy, because already there may be one or more things that you may need to take care of first. For instance, if you have never built an emergency fund, or you don't have insurance or this or that, whatever is important to you, you will first of all need to focus on that before you can start investing. Because when you have investments, but you don't have emergency funds, or you don't have savings, what then happens when an emergency comes? So we are all in different stages of our lives, all right? And so because of that, the ratio is not static. But I will advise that once you have focused on once you've been able to sort out your needs, maybe if 30% of your income can sort out your needs, then maybe another 10 goes to tithes or something like that. If you can start with 20% to put in your investments, 20% or 30%, that's fine. Because also you are living to enjoy your money, not living to suffer. So you cannot say you want to be putting 50% or 100%. Once in a while, you can, maybe 1 month or 2 months in a year, you can actually say, this month though, because this is my investment goal and I really want to meet it before the end of the year. So maybe once or twice in that year, you can just close your eyes, you know, stress yourself that month and just put like 50. But really 20 to 30% is ideal on a monthly basis.
Thank you very, very much. Bless you. So, no further questions. Can we clap for our speaker once again as we take a short 5-minute break. So we appreciate Oluka Egoshola and John Governor. We say thank you very much for your insights, and we pray that you will be more than successful this year and achieve all the goals you set for yourselves. Thank you very much. We'll take a 3 to 5 minute break and we'll be back to continue with the next session. But also we can, the link to the Where to Make Money in 2024 community is already in the chat room. We advise that you join it. Subsequently, tips will be shared. The recording of the session would also be shared, and other juicy details from the speakers. So we ask that you join the community, and also points that you've gleaned from the sessions, you can also add that to the chat room along with your questions. So all the highlights that you've had, the poignant points that the speakers have made that you have written down, you can share them for other people to learn from. I would also repost the link so that we can join it. So thank you. We'll take a 3-minute break and we'll be back to continue the session. Welcome, James. Welcome, James. Yes, the event is still going on, though you've missed half of it, but be sure to get the recording. So, hello, everybody. Can we hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, morning, Praise. I can hear you.
Okay, that's good. Cook. Can anyone tell me, just recap what we've learned so far? It's been quite loaded, and we have some people joining. So I'd like us to be our brother's keeper. Who is ready to be the brother's keeper today and share what he or she has learned so far? Do we have any brothers keepers here?
Well, I can assist. My name is Emmanuel.
God bless you, Emmanuel. You're a good Samaritan. Thank you. I'll vote
Yes.
for you. I'll vote for you in 2027.
Thank you. Right from the onset, we are introduced to majorly what I'll call how to make money from the various financial markets. The capital markets being one of the best ones that we can actually leverage on. There's the money market, there's the capital market. They all have their advantages and their various instruments. In the money market, we have, instruments like the treasury bill, bonds, and short-term investments. Then in the capital market, majorly we are talking about shares. And one of the advantages in shares is that, yes, when you engage the services of a broker, because that's how the market is structured, you can't jump in there to buy shares on your own. The market is structured in such a way that you have, brokers who will assist you. So you have to make inquiry as to how to ensure that you get a viable, trustworthy broker that will give you the best of, advice and purchase. Now, the lecturer took us that memory lane, what happened last year, that Transcore and UBA were one of the highest traded and profiting shares. Now, because we are not experts, we need, the advice of brokers who are professionals in their field, which is rolling into what also the last speaker just said, that we need to engage experts so that we don't have our fingers burnt. The advantage of the capital market is that when you buy shares, you become an owner, a shareholder and an owner of that company, no matter how small it is. At the end of each financial year, they are likely to pay dividends out of the profit they make. And on the other side, you could also get capital appreciation. Let me repeat the example he gave. He said if you bought shares of First Bank for 10 naira and in the course of the year it appreciates by about 2 naira and you want to sell, you have made 2 naira gain on your capital investment of 10 naira. So that is second way of making money. The third way of making money is that, yes, the companies could give bonus shares. Bonus shares in the sense that, yes, they have not been able to exhaust, their approved capital layout, or they have actually applied for more and it has been done. So 3 ways to make money from the capital market: shares appreciation, bonus shares, and then dividends. That's the summary of what I can say there. Of course, he mentioned about the farm. I always say that the last business that will fail in life is farm. Central bank can fail, but the farming business can never fail because man must chop. So he talked about the commodity markets, that you can go there and find out how commodities work. You don't need to carry your hoe and your cutlass to be a farmer. You look at the agri chain and see where you can play, either in processing or in packaging and selling. So you might not have to go and farm cassava, but you can sell gari from people who produce gari and package it and resell. If you go to supermarkets, you see very beautiful gari, well packaged there. That could be one place you can play. Then coming to what the last speaker said, he told us how we can plug our leakages. We engage in certain expenses that are not profiting to us out of emotions, out of sentiments. That's the summary of what I can say. For instance, must I go to that party with a new dress? Who is looking at me? You are the one looking at yourself. You are the one saying to yourself, this dress, people are going to see me wear it a second time. Meanwhile, nobody is seeing you. Now, another thing is, must you take that filler Ashwebi and Ashok and stuff like that. And then she talked about our health. Health is wealth. Some of us overwork ourselves, some of us to the point where we break down and we spend money. Talked about health insurance, talked about insurance on our assets like cars and houses. We think that it's a waste of money. No, it's not a waste of money. As much as we as Christians, for those of us who are on this platform, believe in God and we say God is our ultimate insurance, no, insurance is also good, because at the end of it, you are going to get some returns. If you take out a life insurance, you are going to get a returns. If you insure your car, some of those expenses that you wouldn't have engaged in with insurance, you are protected, right? So summarily, that is what I can get. And of course, he says, if you leave your money in only savings, your money is just wasting. That you must be sure that you invest in something that will give you a yield above the rate of inflation. I think that's in summary what we have discussed so far. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, sir. Thank you. I'm very, very grateful. Please, can you privately chat me maybe your details, your WhatsApp number and co. I would like to send you a gift, at least to reward you. At least to
thank you
reward
so much.
you. Yeah, I'm sure those who just joined are very, very grateful to you. They won't mind you giving them private lessons.
Thank you.
Very, very much.
Bless you.
We'd like to get on with the program. With times well spent. And I'm sure that people have learned quite a lot today. We are going on with the third session. Just to recap, we've learned about how to build sustainable wealth in the capital market, as well as how to build block leakages. That's what we learned in the second session. But now we are going a bit further. It's as we said, it's time to go digital. This is the 21st century. Things have gone digital. And there's a lot of money to be made on the internet and social media. Even as we head further into the metaverse, there are a lot of digital money, opportunities available. One of the things the first speaker mentioned was cryptocurrencies. And it was in the portfolio spread that he showed on the screen. It was a 1/5% advisable that we put into cryptocurrency. But then there was this caveat that not enough information is known about that. So the next speaker is to show us how to, make money online and to take the digital money opportunities that are available in 2024. And without further ado, I'll be giving floor to Mr. Williams Chukudi, who is a coach like myself and an investor and consultant. So, Mr. Williams, you have the floor. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you, Williams. I appreciate you. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me.
Loud and clear, sir.
All right, thank you very much. I want to salute everyone. I hope you are getting value from this meeting. The lecturer just said while Buki was talking, I think I learned a lot on that money leaks. Very profound, very, very profound. All right, sorry, my voice will be kind of low, sort of. I have cold, so my voice will be cracking here and there. I try as much as possible to speak up. All right, let's go to the chat room. I want to hear from everyone. How are you doing today? How are you doing today? How are you doing today? Let me just hear let me read it from the chat room. I'm good. Jeep said I'm good. I want to hear from everyone. How are you doing today? Fantastic. All right. Who else? Who else? Who else? Great. All right. Doing great. I'm blossoming. Awesome. I'm blossoming. Yes, yes, I'm blossoming. Ima is excellent. Great, 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 great to see that. Great to see that. Are we only 7 here? Yeah, I'm blossoming as well. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Great, 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 great. All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to quickly run through some things and then we'll see how we can take this. We just have 30 minutes to spend. Greetings from Canada. I'm currently in Canada now, so it's about 2:51 a.m. All right, so I do justice as much as possible. All right. Okay, so there are some excitements I'm going to bring your way, and then I'll take it up from there. Why I want to show you that is because sometimes people we talk about this online thing, and a lot of people don't have clue on the potential, what it can give you. Right now that our country is really having some difficulties with our currency and all those stuff. Even if the country is not having difficulty in currency, you're supposed to be a global person. Even if Nigeria's money is $1 to £1, you're supposed to still have the mindset of being a global person because the world is your playground. All right. So in this digital age, the world is your market. It isn't just Nigeria. In fact, most of you are doing things that Nigerians won't buy. All right. So I've helped somebody set up a business that she sells more to people in the UK, Australia, US than she sells in Nigeria. All right, and it's a product that you hardly believe that people will want to buy from Nigeria all over the world. It's a hair product. So you're wondering, what about the regulation? What about the testing and all those stuff? But yet she was able to set a standard that she had more people buying from the global village than from the local place. So it is something you need to understand, that it is real. If you play with it, you are going to get the result, and the result is very good, So I'm going to show you something quickly. Let me quickly share my screen. All right. So I'm going to show you. Can you see my screen? You can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, some of you are going to be familiar with some things I'm going to show you, and some of you will not be. But there's a question you must ask yourself. You're familiar, maybe you're familiar with this, but how come it's not giving you the result you want? Okay. So before I open up what I want to open up, there's a question you have to ask yourself. All right. Very important question. Very, very important. Why I want to dive into this question is because it isn't just enough to talk about how to make money, where to make money, what to do. It is enough to also talk about why you're not making the money. Why do you know so much and you are making so little? All right. It's very important to note that. So I ask people this question before, whenever I'm having discussions that have to do with habit change or character change. So when you think about what Buki said on money leaks, there's a question that you want to ask yourself: what is that one stupid thing that you are doing that is making your life miserable? You need to understand that. What is that one financial habit that you have that is making your life miserable and everybody around miserable? What is that one financial habit? It's better you start solving problems from that route, because when you add knowledge to knowledge, you'll find out that there are some certain habits. So people call it money archetypes. Your money behaviors, the behaviors you have with money, your relationship with your behaviors and your finances. All right. You need to define that. So we're not going to go into that, but you can go online to do some money test, all right, on money archetype. I think there are some free versions, but I have a friend who also does that. So when you go to our website, you can check her out. So you kind of do a test. It helps you. Now, why am I saying this? Because you can learn a lot of things here, but your archetypes, your behaviors, your habits, your understanding about money can be inhibiting you. So when we talk about global village or global whatever, somebody is asking how on earth is that possible? The first thing people ask is, how much does it cost? I tell people, I say, whenever you're presented a value and the first question you ask is how much, it shows your poverty level. It shows your poverty level. Anytime you're presented a value to, and the first question you ask is how much, it shows your poverty level. The first question you should ask is, how valuable is this? How will it benefit me? What can I get out of this? How will it help me for my assignment, for my purpose, right? It's not how much. Because till today, a lot of people think that their greatest challenge is capital. Their greatest challenge is no money. Their greatest challenge, no. Majority of the time, what you are lacking is your ability to convert the energy that you're supposed to convert. So We're going to look at some things, and then I want you to answer that question. If not now, when you are done, what is that thing, that one thing that is making your life miserable, that one financial habit? So if you look at all the leaks that she mentioned, if it's lack of budgeting, if it's lack of investment, whatever thing it is, I've heard people say in Nigeria, a lot of people, even in church folks, that the reason why they are not saving money is because when you save money, it looks like you don't have faith. All right, you need to really depend on God for that. And you also hear people say, "Oh, I'm not saving money because I'm not earning much." All right, so a lot of excuses keep compiling. People keep having consistent poor financial habits that is making their life miserable. And when they come to conferences like this, it keeps compounding. All right, so let's go back. Now, let's look at the potential and the possibilities that is online. And I'm using socialblade.com to show you this. I'm going to go to Nigeria. I hope I'll just get to do this fast. So I'm going to go to Nigeria. You said you can see me, right? All right. So let me quickly go to top.
Yes, we can see you.
Okay, let me go to top YouTuber, top 50 YouTubers. Let me search by country. I just want to do Nigeria. I don't want to go so that somebody will know. So, oh, it's US, is all that, and other stuff. So I want to go to Nigeria. So these are the top 50 YouTubers in Nigeria. All right. These are the top 50 guys in Nigeria. And I want to show you something. If you check the World of Wonder, this guy is started topping. Oh, so come on, relax. This guy started topping. I don't know him before. When I used to use this for presentation, the person that was topping was Markangel. All right, Markangel. She was the one topping on the space of this thing. So these are the first 50 in Nigeria. Come on, why are you doing this? Relax. Okay, so let's see. Let me see why. I don't know why this is just happening now. Oh, let me go back. Exit page. So let me reload it again. Okay. So all right. This guy is ranking 100 in Nigeria. All right. And he's ranking 1,596 and the global distance. He has a YouTube channel, and we're going to look at the YouTube channel and look at what he makes every month, estimated to make $101,000 to $1.6 million every month. Every year, he makes $1.2 million to $19.6 million every month. All right. And his subscriber base, you can see his subscriber base as at he makes like 24,000 subscribers as at every day. All right. And then if you look at the channel, so let's look at the channel. What does he do? Now, why am I showing you this? I just want to use this to charge you to understand that when we talk about making money online, there are different places things I will show you online that can help you make money. But sometimes what people neglect most, especially when they think they don't know how to go about it. Now, there's something Buki said, which I'm going to stress so much on. Most of the time, the problem some of us have is that we refuse to pay professionals money to help us make money, especially those of us in Nigeria. We don't believe that giving people money is the right way to make money. So we think that we have to cut and join it until we get it right. All right. Now, there are free things to watch online that can help you get to where you are going to. But in most cases, what you might need is to sit down one-on-one with someone to guide you on doing what you're supposed to do. All right, very important. So the question I want to ask you right now is that, do you have a need of someone to guide you at the place where you are now, the moment where you are? Do you have a need? Because no matter how I try to talk in this class, I will not get into the deep things that will help you eventually dive into what you are. I'm going to say things at the surface level. Why? Because it's not a deep class, so to say, because of the time frame. And I think that's why the organizers created a WhatsApp group as well, where maybe they nurture you to a place of manifestation. But while you're in this class, you have to make up your mind that is there somebody you need to talk to, or sit down with the person and pay him money to get you to where you want to go to, because it is necessary. So why did I say that? I said it because I found out that people who want to make money on YouTube, they struggle a lot with a lot of things. I've done coaching sessions with people globally who have YouTube channels, and they are doing everything wrong about the channel. In fact, there was a day I was talking with a lady who has lots of view on a particular video, but she made very few cents, and she was asking me why. I said, see, it's very simple. YouTube doesn't give you money when you have short videos. If you want to make the most of the money, you have your videos has to be lengthy. It shouldn't be less than 13 minutes. If you want to make most of the money, YouTube wants to put at least 2 ads or 3 on a video that they feel that is selling or is getting more views, not just something that is for a minute or for 2 minutes. All right, it's not going to get you so much money. And she was like, oh, nobody told her that. I said, you didn't ask anybody. All right, so you only asked now, and this video has gone viral, but unfortunately it's not getting you the funds that you want, and it's not even grown your channel to a point that you want to because of some mistakes. So I just use this to show you. If you go back, you will see other guys who are here. Let me see if I can find Mark Angel. I hope I can find her. Mark Angel. I think she answers Mark Angel comedy. I used to use this a lot because she's nobody from nobody, and okay, I can't find her now. She's nobody from nobody. So when I show you her YouTube channel, how much the lady and her uncle makes, you'll understand what is happening with them. So what does this mean? One of the places you have to look at very well is to look at creating YouTube channels. And I'm going to come back to this because I'm going to give you tools you are going to use to create channels. All right, very important. So mark it as number 1. Do I do that now? Okay, so let me do that. So there are some certain tools you can use to create your YouTube channel. First of all, you have to determine what you are going to be doing with YouTube. What I tell people is that when you go to YouTube, don't go and start education. If your intention is to make money, find something that will make you money. Stop being over serious. Don't go and start that you want to teach people how to solve math. It doesn't make sense. If anyone wants to learn math, let them go and learn math. But go to YouTube and go and dive into niches of entertainment, whatever, entertainment, maybe some streams and all that. We're talking about making money here, so we have to be very real. If the intention is to make money, if you can create a channel where you want to educate people, fine. But just know that you just have to give it time. But if you want to do something, you want to make money instantly, you have to stay in a place where you know that people go to waste their data. Yeah, I call it waste because every one of us, whenever we're online, if you check very well, you discover you're wasting a lot of time and data on the internet. So you need to help people waste that time and data on what you are creating, and they can make you money. You have to take advantage of that. You can't cure it. It's there. You cannot cure it. You can't do anything about it. People are bound to waste time and data on the internet. All right. So it's becoming a global thing. It's a disease now. Even the World Health Organization has given it a name. All right. So you have to take advantage of it. I'm not being wicked or whatever. I'm just being honest. All right. So that's that. Now there's what they call 11 labs. 11 labs. You can use 11 labs to create your YouTube video. I'm not going to be get into all those details, but you can go and search 11 labs and use it to do your work very well. Now, in the world of AI, there are some AI-powered materials you can use to create all those stuff. I'll give you all those tools at the end of the day. All right. Now, let me go to the world of e-commerce. E-commerce has become so powerful. And if you go to somewhere like Canva.com, now, like I said again, there are so many things you have to get paid. to achieve what you want to achieve. So I want to go to the world of e-commerce. I'll come to AI, to YouTube and the AI and all the stuff. I will still round up everything, tie up everything around AI. If you go to Canva, most of us, we don't want to pay for Canva. We feel like, Nigerians, we like free things. So we want to use a lot of things free and then move on with our lives. But what I'm about to do now, you might not be able to get it in your free version of AI of your Canva, because my Canva is a paid Canva. But let's see. Let's say I tap t-shirts, and I go, please, can you mute yourself, Janice? Yeah, thank you. So, and I tap t-shirts, Janice, please mute yourself. You are muting and unmuting yourself, please. Janice, thank you. All right. So, and I want to sell shares. I'm not going to be buying any shares. Today where you have Uber, where you have Airbnb, a lot of businesses are springing up around you not having a physical product, but people are creating platforms where you can do whatever you want to, just like Amazon KDP, KDP or what they call it now, publishing, where you can put up your book, Amazon, and create a hard copy. Amazon will print the book and sell to whoever wants to buy it. So you're no longer going to printers to print your book and keep it and then waiting to sell. All right. It's something I want to show you on e-commerce. This is a side hustle you can get involved into. Let's say you want to sell this shirt. Let's say I just want to pick one, maybe this, and you design it. You can, whatever thing, like I said, I'm not going to get into so much details, but if you want to just sell, can you still see my screen?
Yes, sir. Very well.
Okay, so let's say you design whatever thing you want to design here. This on this shirt. When you're done designing, you can go to printify.com, open an account on Printify, and sell this shirt and put this shirt that you design. And what happens is that when people buy the shirt, Printify will print the shirt and send it to them and give you your cut. All right, very simple thing to do. Very simple thing to do. So it's not that difficult now to make money globally. So you are in Nigeria, you are creating shared powerful design. So if you're very creative with yourself, you are creative in designing, this is the opportunity for you to create something and sell it. And Amplify is 100% for use. All right, so you can start there for free. Even though they have their monthly stock, but then you can start for free. You have unlimited product design for that. Very important in e-commerce. All right, so very important. I want you to know that. Now, another thing on e-commerce I want you to check is what they call e-commerce ranker. E-commerce ranker. For you to also create an e-commerce site, not create a site, so to say, but you can use ST, you can use Shopify and all those stuff. Before you start something, you need to go to ecommerceranker.com and look at the top 100 Shopify stores. What are they selling that is making them the most of the money? So these guys, this person is a fresh nova on Shopify, and he or she is selling a product. He makes 24 million monthly revenue from that product. And overall, most products he has sold is this. He has 17 million Instagram followers and all those stuff and all that. So we are using the first one. So let's see what this person is selling. His best sold product. Let's see what his best sold product is. His best sold product. Can you see what are you seeing now on my screen?
Blue jeans and tanto.
Now, woman, I see you.
That's I just wanted to be sure. So this is the best product this person is selling online that has made her $24 million every month. Every month. This thing now you are looking at, this clothes, this shirt, and this trouser made somebody 24 million every month. How? And you know the thing, you too can source this white shirt and trouser and start selling your own. So what is the essence of e-commerce franca? E-commerce franca helps you to look at products that's selling a lot, that have sold a lot, and you want to repeat that. You want to repeat it on your own Shopify website. You want to repeat it on a global level. And guess what? All these things is not like you buy something and keep in your house and somebody will come and pay and then no. These things are connections here and there. So if you go to, let's say, Alibaba and you shop these things, or you go to Amazon Prime, you shop these things, and then once somebody places an order, these guys, they fulfill the order and then send you your fund. You're not disturbing yourself. It's called Amazon FBA, and there's a tutorial on Amazon FBA. I think if you go to, let me see, if you go to udemy.com, there's a tutorial on Amazon FBA. Amazon FBA. So you have to do a little bit of study and all the stuff. Yeah, Amazon FBA. You have to do a little bit of study to actually know how these things work. So it's not just to go and plug in. You just have to study, just have to know what you are doing to get it work for you. All right. The other one where you can make another money is becoming a software developer. Now, these ones I'm not talking about where you want to work as freelance. So you want to work in Upwork, using your skill, very important. You want to work in Upwork using your skill, you still have to go for an Upwork training on how to set up your profile and how to begin to sell yourself, because it's a saturated market now. A lot of people are doing the same thing you are doing. So you have to show how good you are and begin to sell yourself. You want to also sell yourself maybe like a digital marketer. You just want to up your game. So digital marketing can be you're a content developer, you are an SEO consultant, you are this is I mentioned, I would say, okay, you are into video marketing, brand marketing, and also you are creating. Now, I tell Nigerians something. I did in digital marketing some years back, trained by Google, trained by IBM, trained by Leeds University. And I tell people, I say something. You can create a business around digital marketing, but don't try to be the person doing everything about digital marketing. So if I mention all these things I mentioned, and you tell me you are the one that does everything, I just know that you're a failure. Digital marketing is so wide that if you start it, even if you don't have an office, so to say, that can incorporate all of them, tag people who are good in so many areas. Like when you have a job, this person can help you deliver the job while you focus on some of your core strengths. I've done digital marketing projects across the globe, sitting down one place, and I've given a lot of people jobs because it's just what it is. And how do I do that? This is not my strength. I know a lot of things about website, but I don't design websites. You can't get me to sit down to design website. You cannot, no matter how much you're paying me, I'll collect the money. I have guys who design website for me. We're all team. And when they get a job, they know that this is what Williams can do. They can call me and say, "Bros, get into this for me, please." We're a team. All right. So when I'm designing an app, I can't sit down and start designing an app. I have a team of people who are they have a full stack team. All right. So they are there doing their own thing and getting results. And these are excellent driven people. So we have our standards. And I'm telling you, I manage all this team. I manage all of them. So and they are across the globe. All right. So everything you are trying to do is already there. It's just for you to find the right kind of people. And first of all, you have to be the right kind of person. And then you can attract the right kind of people and put them in a team and work with them and achieve your global whatever. Right now, I don't want to buttress on Nigeria, whatever, all those stuff. It's so important that you know that that you just have to make money in dollars. Very important. I just want to debate a little bit. I tell people, let me tell you why the dollar stuff is not going to end so soon. It's because the people who are there, who are supposed to lead us, they are spending the dollar. They use the dollar. That's what they spend. I've lived in Abuja for a long time, And I found out that what people spend in Abuja, some of you will know, is dollar. Even before the dollar got this bad, it's dollar. So if the person who is supposed to make dollar good spends dollar, bros, go and find your own dollar. Go and find your own dollar. They are not helping. They are not coming to help you anytime soon. Go and find your own dollar. And today you can find your own dollar. There's a lot of platforms that helps now for you to collect a dollar. And there's something I tell people: stop all these things that oh, PayPal doesn't open this in Nigeria. Oh, these people don't open. You have friends, you have families, you have people who can help you open some certain accounts. And there's also a Vesti that can help you open a dollar account. There are different platforms that can help you open dollar accounts and push your money into all those places. All right. As you're making it, you have domiciliary account where people can pay you money pay money dollars. But you can use Pioneer as a platform to collect your dollar. All right. And you begin to even sell your own dollar whenever you want to make your conversion. All right. So it's very important you note that. So digital marketing, you can get that. Some of the places you can also train to get yourself acquainted with some things happening in Google, especially the digital marketing side of Google, which is Google Ads and all that, is that you go to skillshop.google. Skillshop, I think it's Skillshop. Yeah, it's just Skillshop, right? Yeah, I think I have it here. Yeah, Skillshop. Skillshop, you can go to Skillshop and learn explore as much courses as possible on Google on how to, do Google Ads, which Google Digital. I don't know what happened. Was it my network? Can you hear me now? Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
All right, sorry, I don't know what happened. I just discovered I went off. Okay, so you can go check that out. Now, let me say something to everyone here. I believe that most of us have skills, whether coaching skills, any kind of skill, you can go to Upwork and render your service. Please, let's go beyond you're asking for or looking for one person to come see you today or tomorrow. These people in the other side of the world, they understand the importance of personal coaching. They do it. They know how important it is. Companies pay for their staff to go for all these trainings. And you can be one person that can be invited. And then the other thing I also want to say is that make sure your LinkedIn profile is so techy. And what I mean techy, I mean is fully robust and developed. It should be attracting people. It should be attracting people. Your LinkedIn profile should be attracting people to your page. Very important. So that you have more chances. And I tell people sometimes, maybe once or twice in a year, subscribe to LinkedIn profile, the premium, and get to be seen more by more important people. The more you are seen, the more you are favored. The more you are seen, the more people ask after you. The more you are seen, the more people want to go to your DM and chat you and ask you some few questions. Ask you if you are free for an engagement, you want to talk, or can you come speak here? Can you come here? Can you come there? Very important. Very, very critical that I said that. Now, there are some there's some things I'm going to say here, and I'll start rounding up. There's some AI-powered hustle here that you can just put aside. I call it hustle because it's something you can be making by the side, all right? Let me quickly rush through it. Number one is that you can start AI-powered voiceover. You don't need a voice now to do voiceover for people. Do you know how much people making voiceover programs? They make a lot of money when you ask them to come and voiceover advert for you, voiceover whatever. You know, they make a lot of money. But right now you can use tools like Synthesia and Descript. Synthesia and Descript to do your voiceover. These are AI-powered machines. All right. Number two is that you can start AI-powered image enhancement, which you can use Topaz Labs and what is the one? Topaz Lab and Photoshop AI. You can use Photoshop AI. A lot of AI tools on image enhancement. Even your what is it called? What is it? CapCut. Everybody is getting to AI. Even your Canva now, everybody has gone into AI. Everybody, all right. Then the other one is AI powered script writing. Now you want to get into script writing, maybe you want to write for videos or for podcasts. You can use Scriptable, or you can use a screen viewer. You can use Scriptable. Now, what this means is that today I do podcasts, and I don't have to kill myself over my script. All right, and I can do a script, maybe for a YouTube, and go to 11's Lab and voice it and get it done on 11's Lab using an AI tool. So today, people are telling you about faceless video YouTubes, making millions out of it and all the stuff. That's what people do now. So they go to a platform, get a script, and then go to 11's Lab, get an avatar, and then find a particular accent they want to use, maybe a Chinese accent or whatever accent they want to use, voice it, then create YouTube and begin to post it. All right. So these are some power AI tools. So if you want to get into scripting, on one side, you are a person who wants to write, that can help you. The other one is chatbot. All right. Chatbot is one of the biggest business that is happening all over the world, because it has to do with customer service. It has to do with answering live questions when the customer is not, when the owner of the stuff is not there, and you have many chats, many chats or many bots now that can help people to create chatbot. Just go and learn it, and there are YouTube channels you can go and learn it and become a chatbot expert. I think there's another one, Dialogflow. Dialogflow can also help you to create chatbot. All right, you become and let me say something. It doesn't matter whether you are tech inclined. I've seen people who are nurses that moved into tech, and they never believed they could do that. Now, some of these things are so easy because there are platforms that have been developed. They've been developed. Nobody's asking you to go and write a code. They are just asking you to interact with the interface, the physical part of the features of the website or whatever, and then develop what you want to develop. Okay, the last one there is you want to become a virtual assistant. People are making money now from virtual assistant, and you can make as much as $6,000 every month. You go there to use ClickUp and Asana, and you can create platform, create your portfolio, and people get to pay you to answer their calls, get to pay you to schedule their meetings, remind them of their appointment. And these things are happening globally. I'm telling you, they are happening globally. I'm not saying that you have to come anywhere. You can be in Nigeria and you are doing this thing yourself. For anybody that is going to pay you so much money. I was telling somebody that the website designers earn as much as $6,000 every month. I was in America. I was in Florida. That was in 2019, if I can remember, in March. And I have a friend who was a retired. He resigned as a school teacher. He had a course on Facebook marketing, and he asked me to join him. And it was online, so I was in the hotel room and I joined him. And in the room were about 70-something people, about 72, 76 people were in the room. And guess what? How much they paid? $4,000. And I sat down on my bed and said, my God, Facebook marketing, isn't all this one? Is there anything that I don't know about Facebook marketing that this guy is going to teach? We know ourselves. I know the guy. And people are paying for $4,000. I say, in Nigeria, can you charge somebody even $100,000? And people will start looking at you like, are you okay? I said, but boss, take your business out of this country. Just be global. Be global. Because the $4,000 to them is just like $4K. all right, and they want to come and get value. And the truth is that this guy taught Facebook marketing that if I sit down to teach them, they will prefer me. I'm telling you, he wasn't as elaborate as he was supposed to be. He just taught some few things at $4,000 and upsold the premium to them again. That there's another level, those stuff. I said, what is happening here? What's this guy? And I was struggling to train people for 100,000 for 200,000. And the 200,000, people will pay 200,000, they will think it's going to be a 1 year course. And this I'm telling you was just a day course, $4,000. I pressed the calculator, 4,000 times 70. How much is that? No wonder the guy resigned. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Very, very important. Tell me, I don't know. I think have I spent my time? Hello?
No. You have struck it now.
Okay. All right. So it is so critical that you push it from where you are now to where you want to be. And like I said, very easy now. Very easy now. Very, very easy for you to just make your dollars. Now, I can't get into a lot of things. So, okay, let me just quickly show you something. Everybody knows ChatGPT, this, that. When ChatGPT came out, I had to go quickly take a course on ChatGPT. I took a course on machine learning language. I took a course on what do you call it again? On prompt engineering. I took a course on prompt engineering, and I found out that if you want to top ChatGPT, you have to be a prompt engineer. So I go to ChatGPT and I write my own prompts, that gives me cutting edge. So those people were like saying, "Oh, that what about what is it, plagiarism or whatever they call it? But what about this plagiarism and all those stuff?" I said, you see, plagiarism can only occur when you don't understand prompts. No two people can write the same prompt, or when you go to copy other people's prompt. If you become good at your prompts, you can't see that. And I said, okay, even if there are platforms where I can bring out all those things and remove whatever I want to remove. For instance, let me show you something. You today now you can write a book and sell it without breaking your head. You can write a book in a day or 2 days, and sell it. All right. You can comfortably sit down and create whatever thing you want. Anybody who's not creating is because he doesn't want to create. He doesn't want to. This thing I'm teaching you here now, I can sit down and just go and let me just make some. I think I've got a lot of things, and for instance, let's say I am on ChatGPT. All right, so I just want to log in. All right. So, a lot of people, ChatGPT, you pay $20 per month. But my ChatGPT, whatever you are paying for $20 a month, I have all those things that you are paying for, those extra premium you are paying for. I have all of them on my free version. All right. And there's a reason for that. There's something I did to get that. It's not hacking, it's not anything, but it's all about study, excuse me, study, and I think I have some of my students in this class who have attended my ChatGPT class, so they will tell you how it is. So now, if you can see here, you see upgrade your plan. I don't need to upgrade my plan because there's nothing in that plan that I don't have here. I have everything. If you go to your plan, you have all these places. So please continue, clarify, exemplify. If you open your ChatGPT, you don't have it. All right. You don't have it. A lot of things here that that I have that if you open yours, you don't have it. All right. So I create my own prompts. So I want to do something on maybe I'm a social media manager. I can do something. I can come here and put someone. I want someone to give me. I'm trying to use an example now. Uh, you have a challenge, you want me to be a social media manager, you have a fashion industry and all those stuff. And maybe I can tell ChatGPT, okay, that you are
A copy for an advert,
Can we use
a
coaching?
copy for a fashion advert campaign.
You said what?
Can we use coaching as an example?
Okay, coaching. What about
Yeah.
coaching do you want to see?
Okay, you want to grow your business from Nigeria globally. I want to use ChatGPT to sell your coaching business globally.
Okay, now let me help you now. So in this system now, okay, let's say you are a life coach.
Yes.
You're a life coach. And you tell ChatGPT, you are telling ChatGPT now that he's a life coach. Maybe he's a life coach, all right? All right. And okay, let's say create a system that can allow you to sell your coaching around the globe for a business, let's say a business executive audience. All right, let's see what ChatGPT will do. Now, because you said you're a life coach, I know why I chose life coach, because you said you're a life coach. He's asking you now to narrow down to a niche. So you have to now decide, am I a business coach? Am I a trainer? Am I a fitness coach? Am I a relationship coach? And all those stuff. But whatever thing it is, he has given you about 15 steps you can use to create your business globally. First of all, define your niche. So let's say you are a business coach. Then build an online presence. Get a website, get your social media platforms working, create a high quality content, all right? Develop your blog posts, articles, and all those stuff. And of course, give them all the SEO that they need. Offer free resources. Of course, these are what they call testers. Testers are ebooks and people can download, get their emails before they download it. Different things you can use to nurture people and all that. That is building an email list. Online courses and webinars, you need to develop them, and you can teach on Udemy and all those stuff. Then you can network and partnership with other people. You can get all your client testimonies, that is to say the testimonials people have and all those stuff for your website. Offer customized coaching packages. Then get international certification, multilingual support. So your website or whatever thing you're doing should have a different ways to translate in different languages so that people can maximize your website. Strategic marketing campaigns, global payment solution, continuous learning adaptation, legal compliance, customer support. Now, he's telling you the legal compliance because the way you do things in Nigeria is not the way you do things here. Here, you can go to jail easily for one mistake as a coach. For one mistake. All right? So,
Yeah, sorry.
you want to ask question? You want to say something?
No, I was just saying sorry. Let me get you pepper soup.
Man, crazy. All right, so I can sit down and develop mind-blowing prompts. All right, and that is how I can stay and not create avoid whatever plagiarism people are thinking about. All right, and if you go to YouTube, you can learn how to develop prompts. So in this ChatGPT stuff, I don't want to just exaggerate, but I've made at least from January last year to now on ChatGPT, working with ChatGPT and using it with people and other stuff, I've made nothing less than, with today's dollar rate, you can be talking about $20,000 and above. And I'm not the one that created the platform. I'm not the one that created the platform. I've written people's books for them. In fact, what I charge people to write their books is $500,000 to write it and help them publish it, create everything. This is what it is. People pay you for what they don't know. They don't pay you for what they know. They pay you for what they don't know. All right? They pay you for what they know. So you just have to understand that when we talk about money, the more you get your expertise right, the more people pay you for it. So they pay you because then another thing people pay you for is they pay you for convenience. So create your business also around convenience. Because people claim today that they are busy. So create your business around convenience. Let people know that you take that whatever from them, that you create the time to help them do what they can do so that they can go and face other things. So create your business around convenience as well. So these are some of the things you just understand. Why do you have Upwork? Why do you have Fiverr? It's because people want to take up some burden, some stress, and give it to someone who's online and say, please help me do this thing. Oh, please help me create this thing. I don't have time for this. And that's why you have all these freelance guys and all those people there, and they are creating those and they are paying them per hour. So understand that business thrives like that. All right, so I want to stop here and see if I have questions to take, and that is it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. In fact, if that was a book, if if the session was a book, I'm sure it would be like 5,000 pages. Well, thank you very, very much. We appreciate all you gained, and we appreciate the references and the pointers that you give us, the websites, the links. So at least we have a foundation to build on to start our own online businesses and for us to be truly global. So I'm going to open up the floor for questions. We'll be able to take only 2 questions. The speaker has his profile and its social media addresses online, so you can reach out to him. Also, the chat room, our chat group is also available. So we'll just take, as I said, let's just take 2 questions. Ajani, it seems that you have made yourself the first question. Go ahead, sir. Mr. Ajani, you can go ahead with your question.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Please, I want you to talk about people that are weak, kind of people that are into business of property, sales, real estate, and sort of things. I want you to talk about it on that activity. How do we come and to boost our business? Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't get what you said.
Ajani, please, can you type the question in the chat box? We didn't quite get the question. I advise that you chat it, that you type it in the chat room.
Okay.
Well, yeah, just chat it, just type it in the chat room. Any other question why he does that? Does anybody have a question?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Peter, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Williams. I was going to ask, as a business coach, how do a consultant, do you do something for consultant? How do you guide a consultant? How do you execute your consulting as a system? People really hardly pay for appreciate service here in this part of the world. So do you have an advice or a guide to how a consultant should execute his consulting business? Thank you, sir.
Okay, so first of all, you need to separate coaching and consultant. They are not the same thing. Both are not the same thing. So if you are building a consulting business, it's different from building a coaching business. All right. So your coaching business, and there's something I want you to also destroy. You said people don't appreciate services in this part of the country. They do. You need to destroy that idea. People do. All right. Because if you have that notion, you are going to be attracting people who don't appreciate it. There are people who don't appreciate it. Okay, maybe I won't, but I've made money. I still make money in Nigeria. All right. So people do. All right. So, but you have to understand that there's a difference between the two, and you need to work on those two differently. So, you can be a coach and a consultant at the same time, but just don't mix them up, because a consultant sees on one place and he's advising, he's guiding. All right. A coach is not advising. All right. A coach is not a coach is not advising, is not people appreciate consultants in Nigeria, yes. So another stuff. So what do you do about consulting business? Try to get more partners. Let me tell you one advantage Nigeria has. I'll tell you. One big advantage in Nigeria is the Nigerian system in business development is the only system in the entire world where relationship comes over business. How do I put it now? Where the more people you know, the more money you make, irrespective of how good you are or how bad you are. And you have to leverage on that. Everywhere you go to, it is either you are good or you are not good. Yeah, there's still an element of if you know someone, you get in. But Nigeria has it as a system. It's a system. It's rooted in us that no matter how good you are, if you don't know people, you're on your own. So if you want to thrive in consulting business, get to know more people. You just have to ride on the system, get to know more people. So the more people, I remember one day during a Buhari's regime, somebody sent me a chat and said if I can supply guns, yeah, that the military needs guns. I was thinking the guy I know the guy, I know he's not joking because I know he's a top politician in APC. And he sent it to me from the office of the son of this guy. I don't want to mention his name. And, and I told the guy, since I've ever known you, have ever mentioned God around you that you are giving me this kind of opportunity. But the truth is that that's how can you tell me that I should come and supply God? But that's how Nigeria works. That's how Nigeria works. I told the guy, I have a list of what he sent to me. And I told the guy, I can't supply guns, but I can supply some other military equipment. If the guy is serious, we can look for other military equipment. There were binoculars, there were bikes, there were different things. We can look for it and supply. Here I'm a coach, then this opportunity came out. And that's Nigeria for you. And tomorrow you see me buy a house in Banana Island, and you're wondering, is it coaching that gave me this kind of business? Is Nigeria you see such things? That's the truth. So you have to leverage on all those things. The more people you know, the more your consulting business thrives. All right, that's a lot. Okay.
Okay, sir. I'd like to also, Mr. I also like to add to that. I think when we talk about people not appreciating service, I think the major issue with the consultant is to be able to move the value from work done to the time spent. So as a consultant, the first thing you must tell yourself is how much value do you put on your time? Because they are paying for your time as a consultant. So because otherwise they will look at what you are doing. Is it pepper and tomato that, okay, is this what you are paying for? So they are looking at delivery. They are looking at, oh, you brought this particular product. So you need to sit down today and tell yourself, okay, what is the cost per hour of my time? What is the cost of my day? Because you're a consultant, you are not working for somebody collecting the salary. So per month, what value do I put on this per month? What is the opportunity cost? What else could I have been doing on this with this particular time? And so once you're able to move the customer from looking at the work done to actually valuing your time spent, or the time that you are giving them to do their work, that shift in the mind of the customer is what brings that appreciation. Because if you are a person where that's easily accessible, for example, they say scarcity increases value. So if you are easily accessible, then you are not a premium. You can't charge a premium to a customer when you are an easily accessible person. So if you, by the end of this day, and you are able to put an exact value on your time, then now translate that to your billing. So you are billing for man hours and not necessarily and not work done. Because people over here, we are visual people in Nigeria. So I'm looking at, okay, is it just because you sat down and you talked and you did this thing and you wrote this thing? That's why you want to charge me 1 million. But you need to be able to put a premium on that time. So take that as an assignment, and then we can take it from there. Because in Nigeria, people pay retainers. There are 20 companies as a consultant, 20 companies can be paying you retainers on a quarterly, monthly, or yearly basis, and you are collecting your retainers. And if they don't pay you the retainer, you won't pick their call. That's the honest truth. The retainer guarantees that that anytime you need my consulting services, I will answer you. But if you don't pay me retainer, I will, even if it's just to put full stop at the end of the sentence, I will not do it. So those are the opportunities that Nigerians here that are collecting retainers from several companies in high figures. Thank you very much. I just said I should add that. So any other questions as okay, we didn't take, okay, so there was this question, can Coach William list the other courses? Okay, so that was his. You will get those ones in the group, and you can also see it directly on LinkedIn, Twitter, as well, and other social platforms that he has shown. So you get those ones. We appreciate you, Mr. Coach William. We are very, very grateful. And as I said, you have offloaded a 5,000-page book for us today in 30 minutes. So we'll go and transcribe the book in our head and we'll sell it. And sell it on Amazon. So thank you very much. God bless you. Have a wonderful year. And let all your earnings exceed your expectations and targets in Jesus' name. Thank you, sir. So we'll be going to the final session of the day. We're sorry that we extended the time because of questions. We'll be going to the final session of the day. And our speaker for today who doubles as the main host for today, being the CEO of Cutting Edge Partners. He's a foremost financial consultant, global financial consultant, a coach, someone who has the interests. I'm not sure there are many more people that can defend this nation as much as him. Someone who has the interest of the nation at heart, and someone who genuinely wants to see people rise above their current limits. He's a business turnaround expert. He's a coach, and so he's a personal turnaround expert as well. One who can, through deep coaching, transform the lives of people. So I would like to invite Mr. Benjamin Adoroja as he takes the final session for today. Thank you very much, sir.
Oh, thank you so much, Olayinka. Thank you so much. Wow, thank you so much. It's been a wonderful and amazing time out. I trust that we've derived tremendous value from this session. The idea behind this session was birthed a couple of months ago, and I haven't seen how the economy was, behaving, and how people's income, how people's livelihood have been, drastically affected. We just felt that there was a need for us to put this out to serve. The idea is just to serve and to add value. We have no ulterior motive at all, just to serve and to add value to people out there who would truly appreciate the value. And we just made it free to ensure that people derive maximum value. And our speakers magnanimously, because we told them ahead of time that it would be a free program, and they magnanimously signed up, and I'm truly grateful to them. We appreciate them. We appreciate Mr. John. Mr. John, who spoke first, is the head securities, trading, and operations of Lighthouse Capital. I also want to appreciate the Buki Aregbesola, who spoke, who was the second speaker. I celebrate her. Buki Aregbesola is the chief coach of Buki.ng, a personal finance services company. And we also have our amiable coach Williams, the CEO of Duo Lead. In fact, I did not know that he's in Canada. You know, he's currently in Canada, and the time he started his session, it was, according to him, it was 2:50 a.m. So they're still in the wee hours of. Thank you so much, Coach, for the sacrifice. This is a tremendous sacrifice. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We honor you. We celebrate you. Someone sent me a chat on WhatsApp and said that this Williams guy has blown my mind, though. Thank you so much. Truly, truly amazing and transforming session. And that's why we designed it. We wanted it to be very practical so that people can derive maximum value from this. Now, he spoke about certain elements that we can use to earn in dollars. I want to talk about a very important component when it comes to earning in dollars. I want to talk about it, and I'm going to share my own story. I must say that, of course, I earn in dollars by God's grace. I am not the, let me say it, I'm still also a work in progress. Agreed, I earn in dollars every month. Every month, by God's grace, I earn in dollars every month. So I want to share my story. I want to share some of the things I've learned. I'm not going to be going to the businesses. I'm going to be talking about you as a person who wants to earn in dollars. I trust you can see my screen. Trust you can see my screen. So let me quickly dive into this. I can guarantee that I want to be rest assured that you're going to deliver. You are going to derive value from this session. As I was introduced earlier, my name is Benjamin Aduroja. I am a global financial consultant. I'm the CEO of Cutting-Edge Partners. Cutting-Edge Partners, the idea behind Cutting-Edge Partners is to help you to, chart your wealth course and to, accelerate the accomplishment of your financial goals. So we help you to chart your wealth course. You can check our website. Better still, you can join the community. The link has been posted. So there will be a post-event, engagement. That's why we created the community for the post-event engagements. We'll be sharing some gifts with us, audio gifts. We're going to be having some group sessions. And then from our speakers too that have spoken today, we're going to be getting some discounts for you if you would like to engage them one-on-one, or you want to attend any of their programs, or take part of their offerings. We're going to help you to get good discounts. So that's the idea behind the community. So we encourage you to click the link in the chat room to join the community. And then like we know, this session is being recorded. So we're also going to share the recording in the community, so that you can go back in your own private time and then go through this webinar all over again. So you have a lot to derive from this post-event. So it's not a one-off stuff. We just want to make it something that on a consistent basis throughout 2024, we had value to you. We had tremendous value to you. That's why we created the community. Now, I want to talk about earning in dollars, how to rise above economic challenges besetting you to earn in foreign currency. That's what I'm focusing on in my own presentation. Very brief, but very profound. And I'm going to be sharing my own story. I'm going to be sharing my own struggles and how God helped me to break some of the limits that I had, mental limits. Most of them were mental limits that I put myself in, or that I found myself in. But through God's help and through grace, I was able to break them. I want to share a few of my story I want to share my story with you and then to help you to see how you can, learn one or two things and then apply in your own different, life. So let me start with the story of Mouse. There's a dude called Mouse. So I'm going to start with the story. When the lockdown started, in the heat of the lockdown, I got an email from a dude called, dude means it's like when it's an American word for a guy, from a dude, and I realized that the guy is from UK, Manchester to be precise. I got an email from him, said this and that, blah, 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 that they want to launch in Nigeria, that they need a consultant, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I thought it was some of these scammers, I thought it was a scammer, but I kept an open mind. One of the things I'm going to advise this year, 2024, to be able to know where the money is always keep an open mind. Always keep an open mind. That is the first lesson I want you to take away from this. So I kept an open mind, and I replied this email I wanted to confirm whether he's real or not, whether it was real or not. I sent him an email and now invited him for a session, like a one-on-one session. We could talk about what he wanted and this and that. I sent him the email, and then on the day, at the time, I logged on to my Zoom, and lo and behold, the guy joined. I was dazed. It was a white guy, white dude. I thought, a scammer cannot put on white flesh now. So to cut the long story short, we talked about the stuff. We talked about what he wanted, what his company wanted, this and that, blah, blah, blah. To cut the long story short, I charged them. I charged them per hour. Like Olayinka said, I charged them in pounds. I didn't charge them in naira, in pounds. And they willingly and gladly paid. I charged them in pound sterling. That was my first experience with pound sterling. And they willingly and glad, and I charged them per hour. This is how much we negotiated. For your work, this is how much we're going to charge per hour. And it was in pounds. And they willingly and gladly paid. So I shared this story to help you know that opportunities can come from any angle, can come from anywhere. So always keep an open mind. Now, how did I attract this opportunity? That's what I want to talk about. Because nothing just happens. Nothing just happens. So I want to share the mental posture. Because Mr. Coach Williams has talked about some of the businesses and all that you can plug into. So I want to talk about you yourself. Because it is you that will attract those opportunities. You can do all of those things. You can try, go to AI, go to chatbot, ChatGPT, try all of those stuff. If you do not get yourself right, believe you me, you would still self-sabotage. That's just the truth. Because that was my experience before Mouse. I was sabotaging myself. Now, there's a need for us to do a test. I trust that we all have notepads with us. It's called Resiliency Assessment Test, or quiz. Resiliency Assessment Quiz. This is something that people pay a lot of money for, but you're getting it for free. So Resiliency Assessment Quiz. So please get your writing materials and let's quickly dive into this quiz. Very simple, but very profound. It's going to help you know how resilient you are in the face of economic challenges, in the face of this hula baloo in the economy, the things, dollar rising, fuel price hike, and all those stuff that have battered our finances. So how resilient are you? So that's what this test is. This quiz is testing. So I trust that we're ready. Okay, let's dive in. So, kindly give me a second. Okay, fantastic. Okay, fantastic. So, what as you can see, it's resiliency is how well you can cope with expected and unexpected, life events. The ability to roll with the punches. That is what this test, so for example, health problems, unemployment, challenges that come, that some of them we call unforeseen, we call them in economics. I studied economics as my first degree. We call them unforeseen contingencies. Unforeseen contingencies. So let's dive into the test. Let's dive into the test. How easily could you handle a health, financial, or other type of life crisis? That is what this test wants to examine. Now let's dive, let's go on. Take the quiz below to find out. Answer each question with one of the following 4 responses. So instruction is, so for each of the questions, if a question resonates with you, put 5. Score yourself 5 on that point. If it's well, sometimes, or maybe yes, sometimes no, put 3 points. If it is a clear-cut no, then put 1 point, just 1 point. And then this question is not applicable to me or my personal situation, put 0. Let me go over that again. The instruction is for each of the quiz questions, if it solely resonates with you, put a 5. If it's sometimes, put a 3. If it doesn't resonate with you, put 1. And if the question is not applicable to your personal situation, put 0. I will say, okay, let's go. So when you're done, add up your scores for each of the 20 questions. We're going to answer 20 questions. This is a 20 question quiz. The summary at the end of the quiz tells you how you are doing. So once you have answered the question, just sum up your points, and then your score will determine how well you are doing. So let's move. This is the first question. It is testing your financial resources. Number 1, I have an emergency fund of at least 3 months expenses set aside in a liquid account, such as a savings or money market mutual fund. Buki mentioned this during our presentation. So if you do have such a thing like this, your answer for this is 5. If it's well, sometimes yes, sometimes you've been dilly-dallying with it, put a 3. If you do not have an emergency fund at all, put 1. And if this question does not even apply to you at all, you don't see a need for emergency fund, then put a 0. Okay, let's go to question 2 because of our time. I want us to be time conscious. Number 2, I have a low interest line of credit or other low cost source of funds established that can be tapped in the event of an emergency. In case you have an emergency and you need money now, do you have people that you can call that can loan you the money, people that trust you and people that you trust? You have access to credit, low interest credit. If you do have that, please put a 5. If you don't, it's 1. And if it's sometimes, then put a 3. Number 3, let's go to question number 3. My monthly consumer debt to income ratio, that is total of monthly consumer debt payments plus monthly take-home pay, is less than 15%. My monthly consumer debt to income ratio. In other words, let me use Nigeria as an example. Nigeria is paying as much as, the last time I checked, maybe like last year, 2023, we're paying over 100% of our income to service debt. You can see that debt ratio was an anomaly, and it is an anomaly. You are paying 100% of your income to service debt. That is an anomaly. Now, what we're saying that if your debt to income ratio, that is the amount you're paying out of your income to service loans or service debt, is less than 15%, your answer to this is 5. If it is well, I don't know, maybe not, then put 1. If it's not, put 1. And if it is sometimes, maybe it's going up and down, put 3. Okay, let's go to number 4. Fourth question. I have a long-term disability insurance policy that will replace at least half of my income if I'm unable to work due to accident or illness. Now, we are saying this is a resiliency test. It is testing the resiliency of your financial resources. So that's why we're asking this question. Remember, Buki also mentioned insurance during our presentation. Number five, question number 5, I am covered by a health insurance policy with a high, that is 1 million or an unlimited amount per person limit for major, I'm trying to sound, okay. No, we're not saying you should put the questions in the chat room. We're saying you should answer them, they are personal. This question, this is a personal test. So you don't need to put the questions in the chat room. Answer them on your notepad, because this is testing how resilient you are. It's a resiliency test in the face of the economic challenges we're having. So it is testing your resiliency. So the answer should be in your what? In your notepad, because at the end of this exercise, in a couple of minutes from now, you are going to add up all your scores, and then the total will give you an idea of how currently resilient you are to the economic shocks. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So that's number 5. So let's go to the second question, the 6th question. Question number 6. Question number 6. I keep my job skills current through formal education, on-the-job training, and other methods. If you do this consistently, please, it's a 5. If it's sometimes, it's 3. And if it's not, if it's a no, then you put no. So number 7, I'm trying to rush now because of our time. Number 7, I have recommended estate planning documents such as a will. If you have written your will, if you have a living will, you have a durable power of attorney. Now, this is most especially for some of us who have already started acquiring assets. Please, it's time to write your will. If you have a will in place, if you have a durable power of attorney, please, the answer is 5 to this. If it's not, if it's sometimes, it's 3. If it's not, simply put 1 or 0. Number 8, I spend less than I earn and regularly make deposits into saving or investment accounts. If this resonates with you, kindly answer as appropriate. Number 9, I am the beneficiary of a life insurance policy owned by another person, e.g. spouse, and or I own a life insurance policy that protects my dependents. So if this applies to you, then answer it with a 5. If it's not, then it's 1. That's no. Number 10, please kindly unmute your mic. Sorry, kindly mute your mic, please. Number 10, I have a tax-deferred retirement savings plan with a pension fund administrator to which I make regular deposits and from which I could borrow or withdraw money if I had to. This is very important especially for some of us who are in paid employment. Your retirement savings account, do you have something like that with a pension fund at the PFE? Please, if you do, then it's a yes. If it doesn't apply to you, then you put a 0. So let's move on to the number 11. So this now with the first set of questions tested the resiliency of your financial resources. Now we're looking at the resiliency of your social stroke community resources. Remember, Coach Williams mentioned that if you want to make money, that one of the systems in place in Nigeria is no person. You have to know person. You have to know people. You have to have relationship, vital relationship. So we want to test the strength of your current relationships with the following set of questions. Okay, number 11, I have at least 5 close friends or family members that I could call to help me in the event of an emergency or a crisis. Now, this resiliency test is even more profound and very needed because of the current situation we have found ourselves in globally. So this will help you. This test will also be posted in the community for some of us who would like to have access to this test so that you can take it again and again, so that you can keep testing yourself over a couple of months. We're going to post this test. In fact, we're going to have this. We're going to crave the indulgence of our of our speakers to give us their slides. So I'm going to share these slides for free in the global community, in our community, in our where to make money community. Please, if you have not joined, kindly join. Click the link in the chat to join that community now. So number 12, I am aware of government and non-profit agencies in my community that could assist me if I was in need. All of these things are very important. If you do, please answer 5. If sometimes it's a 3, if not, it's a 1. Or if you are not, if it doesn't, concern you, or you are not interested in that question, it's a no. Please kindly mute your mic. Kindly mute your mic. Number 13, we're rounding off the quiz shortly. I have regular physical exams by my doctor and health screening tests at recommended intervals. I have regular physical exams, especially if you're over 40 in this room. If you're over 40, this is very important. If you do this regularly, it's a 5. If it's sometimes it's a 3. If not, it's a no, and you put 1. Number 14. Now, let's look at personal resources, the resiliency of our personal resources to economic shocks. So the 14th question, I am able to easily search for needed information on the internet or at the public library. Some of us can go to, we have 1 or 2 public libraries. We're just keeping an open mind. Remember, keeping an open mind. Sometimes you might need to source for certain things in a library, certain resources. Go to a library to source certain resources. So I'm able to easily search for needed information on the internet or at the public library. Please answer as appropriate. Number 15, I would describe myself as a positive, optimistic person, and I'm often hard to say it could have been a lot worse when bad things happen. That is when you have a positive disposition to life. You know that you are consistently, you have a positive mental attitude. If this is you, put a 5. If your mood swings here and there, and sometimes you are positive, sometimes you are negative, then put a 3. If no at all, you are always on the negative mood or negative vibe, then it's a 1. Okay, number 16. Let's go to number 16. Kindly indulge me. Okay, so it's coming up. Question number 16. I would describe myself as an organized person who can juggle many tasks and stay on top of everything. Oh, sorry. Let me reshare my slide. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, let me reshare the slide. Okay. So I will share my slide. Can you indulge me? Okay, so as you can see, this is a very important test. A very, very important test. And there's a reason I put it here, because see, if you don't know how you are doing currently, if there's no proper diagnosis, you won't know where to work on. So the essence of these sessions is to add tremendous value to each one of us, and then we are able to take necessary steps, living intentionally. One of my mentors, he talks about living intentionally. So having gone through this test, we'll be able to know how resilient you are in your finances, and what you need to do to further upscale your resiliency, to further improve your resiliency. That is very, very important. Resiliency, it is, some people also call it emotional intelligence. Of course, there's an aspect of that is called emotional intelligence, which is very important. And that's one of the things I did that helped me. And I need to mention that emotional intelligence is one of the skills I acquired that helped me, and that is still helping me till today. There's certain things that happened to me in the course of that stuff that if I had responded in a negative manner, would have jeopardized my goals. My goals. I wouldn't have been able to achieve my goals. So let me quickly reshare my screen as we move on with the test. Let me reshare my screen as we move on with the test. Okay. So please, if you are gaining value from this session, kindly let me see your best emoji in the chat room. We'll round off shortly. Kindly indulge us. We have taken so much of our time today, but as you can see, it's an investment of our time, not an expense. We are not, like Coach William said, we are not wasting. This is not a waste of a waste of data. We are not wasting our data. We are investing our data. Okay, so it will come up shortly. You start seeing this stuff is loading. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for your patience. Okay. So we were at question number 16. It's still loading to come up shortly. Kindly indulge me. To still, okay, it's coming. It has come up. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So let me go straight to the question we have. We're in question 16. And we have just 4 more questions to go. 4 more questions to go. Please, okay. Question 16. We're testing personal resources. So we have tested financial resources. We have tested social resources. We're now testing personal resources. So let me go straight to slide share. Oh, okay. So question 16. Please indulge me. Let me quickly share slide share mode, slideshow mode. Okay. Well, yeah. Thank you very much for your patience. Right. Okay. Okay, fantastic. So, thank you so much for your patience. I'm grateful. Okay, it's coming up. It's coming up. It's loading. Okay, please indulge me. Thank you very much for your patience. So I was talking about one of the things I did while, let me talk about this while we wait for the slide to come up. So, okay, let's go straight to the slide because of our time. Thank you very much for your patience. Question number 16. I would describe myself as an organized person who can juggle many tasks and stay on top of everything. And this is very important. Our ability to organize. This is very important. So if this applies to you, kindly answer with 5. That is my household. You keep your records. You keep your household paper, financial records, and you are well organized and you can find specific pieces of information easily. Please kindly put a 5 to this. Someone's audio is on. Let me mute the person because he's distracting us. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next question. We're almost done with this this quiz. 17. I would describe myself as a focused person. When I make up my mind to do something, I somehow figure out a way to get it done. If this is you, put a 5. If not, maybe sometimes put a 3. Or if not, put a no. That is 1. Number 18, our third to the last question. I would describe myself as being in good health with good nutrition, adequate exercise and sleep, and no major health problems. So if it's a yes, put 5. If it's a no, if sometimes put a no. Okay. So number 19, I would describe myself as having good stress management skills. Remember, this season it can stress anybody out if you are not careful. If you do not have a good stress management program or agenda, it can stress you out. So if you have a good stress management program or agenda and you have the skills, please put a 5 to this. If not, put a no, which is 1. Last question, but not the least. I consider myself literate with a good ability to read and write and understand basic health and financial terminology. This is a bonus question. This is 5 for everybody. Now let's go straight to our the scoring. Scoring. Okay, so Are we set for the scoring? Please kindly add up your total scores as we go to the scores, scoring. Please add up your total scores. Okay. Let me give us a few seconds for that. Please add up your total score, and then we'll go on to the next set of we'll go on to the scoring guide. Okay, so if you scored between 0 to 40 points, you have relatively few resiliency resources to assist you in a time of crisis. If you have scored between 0 and 40 points, you have relatively few resiliency resources to assist you in a time of crisis. If you score between 40 and 60 points, you have taken some steps in the right direction to develop your resiliency resources. If you scored between 61 and 80 points, you are doing a good job and are above average in developing and maintaining resiliency resources. If you ever scored 80 to 100 points, we do rank candidate for such a person, 81 to 100 points, you have many resources to assist you in a time of crisis. Keep up the good work. So I'm going to ask just 2 questions from this. If you scored between 81 and 100 points, please kindly indicate in the chat room. You scored between 81, we want to celebrate you especially. You scored between 81 to 100 points, please indicate in the chat room. We want to celebrate you especially. Between 81 to 100 points. Okay, someone scored some. Oh, okay. Oh, this was before. Okay. So anybody? Okay, let's go to the last one. I'm not going below that. You scored between 61 to 80 points. Please indicate in the chat room. We want to celebrate you. 61 to 80 points. We want to celebrate you for that because you have taken certain, vital steps to, safeguard yourself, your family, and your finances. Oh, Joseph, fantastic. Well done, Joseph. We celebrate you. Well done. Who else? Anybody else? Yes, Joseph, you have a prize, special prize from us. Please join the community. I trust that you've joined the community. So we'll continue the chat there. We'll private chat. We'll give you a special gift for this. So let me quickly rush this and we'll quickly bring it to a close. We'll bring these sessions to a close. So items that you scored with a 1 to 3 are changes that you should consider making to improve your resilience. So if you scored yourself in certain points, 1 or 3, those are places where you need to make improvements. Like I said, we're going to share this slide in the community. Please do join the community if you have not joined. Now, look at this woman. Where do we go from here? I love the way Buki, painted the picture, the current picture we have in our economy. Now, let me share this. Yesterday, my wife is heavily pregnant, so I'm the one having to do the shopping. So I went to the market yesterday. Wow, I was I was flabbergasted. I don't know if there's any word like that, by the hike in the price of staples. I was daunted. Let me just use the word, I was dazed by the incessant, things that you bought last week. By the time you go back today, hey, they have changed. So where do we go from here? I don't want to belabor this particular point because we all know what is going on in the current global. It's even a global phenomenon. It's global. So what do we do? The solution is earning dollars. That is just the solution, my brothers, my distinguished gentlemen and ladies. Like Coach Williams said, the solution in this era, in such an economy as this, is to earn in dollars. Honestly, to be candid with you, when I see price of dollar rising, I'm happy. I'm happy, honestly. I'm happy. Eh? I say, oh, thank you, God. I'm happy, honestly. I know that is quite strange because many people are sad. Most people are sad, you know. Please. Yeah, I went to the market too early. Interesting. Oh my God. So, you know, the solution in such a time as this is to earn in dollars. There's no two ways about it. And Coach Williams has shared certain opportunities and certain means through which we can do that. I'm not going to be going into that. Perhaps in our community, we're going to dive into that, you know, in the community, in the way to make money community. We're going to talk about that subsequently in later sessions and all that. We're going to dive into that. We will also be having a very important program coming up in March. It's called Building Your Financial Muscles Bootcamp. It's a 21-day bootcamp. And the essence of that bootcamp is to help you to at least double your income within 3 months. A minimum of 100% increase in your income within 3 months. That's the essence of the bootcamp. But more details will be shared in the community. So the solution, like I said earlier, is to earn in dollars. There's no two ways about it. Earn in dollars. Let me share my own story. Like I said, I shared a bit of it, but let me just go a bit more into details. Prior to now, as at a few years ago, when you are talking about a hustler, you don't find me sitting in, this is my story by God's grace, you can't find me sitting in such a place as this. I am always on the road. I was always on the move, always on the road, hustling. Hustle, they say hustle. Hustle, like they always say, I was hustling, doing all sorts. Do marketing, do sales, do this, do that, anything that will bring in money. Do you know that I was taking 1 step forward and 10 steps backward? The harder I walk, the poorer I became. The harder I walked, the poorer I became. You know, I was always setting goals, set my financial goals, set this and that, and I would realize that every single year I was not attaining the goals. I was struggling financially. I don't know how to compare it. Let me just share a snippet. I remember a particular time where I did not have money to go to the office. We had an office somewhere in Ikeja. I did not have transport fare for an extended period of time. I was always trekking. I don't know, that just give an idea. Trekking from, I was living at Ayobo then, trekking from Ayobo to Ikeja. And nobody would know. I'll put on suit, put on this, put on that. Nobody would know. I was, you know, struggling unnecessarily. And I was sad. At a point in time, I got burnt out. And I decided to take a leave. Let me just stop enough of this hustling. Enough. One day, what works? What is the thing that works? I wanted to find out what really works, how I could change my life. And I took a break from everything. I just shut my businesses down and I took a sabbatical. I wanted to find out what really works. Honestly, in my research, I found out that the major issue with me and with most of us is that our mindsets have been conditioned in a certain way that is blocking us from attracting the right resources. For example, I would set a goal that I wanted to earn certain millions per year, for a year. And guess what? Subconsciously, I believed, there was this belief in me that, it's not possible to earn that kind of millions. So, you are playing, you know, they say they play, you know. I did not pay attention to that subconscious thought. It was during my sabbatical that I realized, okay, what this means is that there are certain beliefs, certain subconscious thoughts, certain things that happened in my background that I had not dealt with, and that were serving as a roadblock to financial prosperity in my life. And one after the other, I started, that's why Coach Williams mentioned it. We need coaches, we need mentors. I decided to get a coach. I decided to go in for mentoring. In fact, I decided to take life coaching program to become a life coach. So I took courses on emotional intelligence. I paid hundreds of thousands to learn from people. I got coaches to learn from them, and they helped me to rephrase, to change those limiting thoughts, those disempowering beliefs, to turn them into empowering beliefs and empowering thoughts. Guess what happened? By the time I tuned from that negative, vibe to the empowering vibe, where I saw myself as a multi-billionaire in dollars, I began to see, I created an affirmation. We're going to talk about that in the community. I created an affirmation, and every day, morning and night, I was always reciting those stuff to myself. Guess what? That was what brought miles that I shared earlier. That was what brought, if I had not changed certain things, I would not have attracted miles. And guess what happened? When I changed my mindset, then more opportunities came by themselves. The funniest thing is, these opportunities came by themselves. I attracted them because of the person I had become. And that is why it is, no matter how many businesses you do, if you go online, you do all the things that Coach Williams has said, if you do not do this one, you are going to realize that at the end of the day, you still sabotage yourself. So that is why it is very important to take yourself, to work on yourself, to work on ourselves. It is very important. So I changed my mindset and I began to earn. In fact, I currently have a retainer, by God's grace, that pays me in dollars every month, by the grace of God. It's a retainer, like my coach. It's like Coach Williams said. Someone asked, Mr. Peter asked if it is possible to how you could structure yourself as a consultant to earn. You can become a consultant and earn a retainer. You get retainer. People pay you for your service every month to retain your service. So I have one of my retainers is in foreign currency, by the grace of God. How did I attract that? Because of who I had become, and because of who I am becoming. I'm not stopping. I keep working on myself. I keep cultivating that wealth consciousness that attracts the resources. We're going to talk more about that in the community, how to create that wealth consciousness. So what do you do as we begin to round off? What do you do? Let me just share a few things for us that we can quickly put into action. The first thing I wanted to say is work on yourself. Like I mentioned earlier, work on yourself. You are the most important component in this equation of where to make money. You are the most important component. If you have not worked on yourself, if you're not working yourself, honestly, you're going to self-sabotage. So how do you work on yourself? Capacity development. There are certain skills, certain things that Coach Williams mentioned. You would need to upskill to be able to leverage them. That's the first thing. I'm rushing, kindly indulge me. We're going to talk more about this in the community. Capacity development. The second thing you need to work on is renew your mind. That is very important. Renewal of mind. Being intentional about what you allow to enter your mind. Be intentional about the content you consume. Very, very intentional. Books, audio resources, materials that will program your mind to that frequency where you begin to attract the things that you were running after. The funniest thing, my gentlemen and ladies, the funniest thing was that these things, I was running after them. The money, the thing, I was pursuing them. When I just stopped, enough is enough, I stopped. I cut everything off and I began to work on myself. And as I became more, the things I was running after now started running after me. The partnerships I was running after began to run after me. The income I was running after began to run after me. The resources I was running after began to run after me. So renewal of mind is non-negotiable in this equation. It is sacrosanct. It is very critical. We must not, consume everything that comes. One of the things I do every day by God's grace, one of the things I do is at least for 1 hour every day, I read. 1 hour minimum for the past 5, 6, 7 years. Minimum of 1 hour, sometimes 4 hours, sometimes 6 hours, studying, keeping, working on my mind, developing capacity to attract these things. Because they are madness. We are madness. We are all living madness. You attract who you are per time. So someone said that what is out there is not the problem. The real problem is who I am and what I'm attracting. Do you know that in such a time as this, people are still cashing out? When people are, there's no money, there's dollar is this, dollar is that. Some people are still cashing out big time. So we can also be part of those people. And the second thing is renewal of mind. Very important. The third thing I want to tell you, and this is very important, it is not usually emphasized, but it's one of the things I practice, and that is working for me. Watch what you say. It is subtle. It sounds very, very inconsequential, but it is very important. It's one of the things that has helped me and that is helping me. When people are complaining, hey, this and that, blah, 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 I do not join them to complain. Honestly, I don't. I ask myself, what do I want to see? I remember I went to a grocery store some time ago. Very interesting story. I went to a grocery store, and the lady, the owner of the store, and another customer were chatting. I met them chatting, and they were lamenting about the economic problems, this and that. They were just lamenting this and that, blah, 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 blah. Guess what I told them? I said, hey, dude, guys, hey, distinguished gentleman and lady, so Nigeria is working for me. Me, I'm making a killing in this Nigeria. And I told them, I said, if they pound, I created a proverb for them. If they pound Nigeria's yam inside, leaf, and cook Nigeria's stew inside a granite shell, me, I'll be satisfied. They looked at me like this as though I were an alien. I didn't care. I was declaring what I saw. Anytime people are complaining around me, I don't join them. Rather, I say what I want to see. And honestly, it is like magic. It is working. So always watch what you say. Very important. This is very important. I know that a lot of people don't emphasize it, but I am emphasizing it. Our words create our reality. Our words eventually create our reality. When your words negate, when you desire certain things, but you are speaking against those things, that will sabotage. That was one of the issues I had. I was always complaining. I was always speaking negatively about things and circumstances, and sabotage. Sabotaging financial resources from coming to me, sabotaging me from attracting good things to my life. So when I changed my words, when I began to speak, creative words, I'm not talking about positive words necessarily, I'm talking about creating your reality with your words. One of the things I tell myself is, this is now a multi-trillion-dollar destiny. I, Benjamin Aduja, I am now a multi-billionaire in dollars. That is who I am. That is who I see myself as, and that's who I am. And I have no choice but to manifest. And I'm taking cautious steps to manifest it. So what you say, very important. Like I said, the fifth thing is keep your heart open to opportunities. Always keep an open mind. If I had not kept an open mind with miles, I would have discounted that opportunity. And that would have led to the loss of pounds, hundreds of pounds sterling that I made. It would have led to that. So important, always keep an open mind. Test opportunities. verify them. If you see certain red flags, just leave immediately. But always keep an open mind. Then another question I need to ask yourself, which is the next step, is how much do you want to start making in dollars? Set it as a goal. Ask yourself, how much do I want to start making in dollars per month, per week, per month? In fact, like Olayinka mentioned, per hour, per hour, per week, per month, per year. Set it as a goal and paste it on your vision board. One of the concepts we talk about and that we are going to emphasize in our community is vision board, having a vision board. We're going to talk more about that in the community. So I have a vision board right here, and I have my goals set there. I have my vision board, things I want to earn, this and that. Stock on my wall, things I want to attract to myself, stock on my wall. Very, very important. And last but not the least, as we round off this session, last but not the least is exposure. Expose yourself. Expose yourself. One of my colleagues, his son is getting married in South Africa next month. One of the things I want to do is I want to travel to South Africa next month to go for the wedding. Exposure to Joburg, to go for the wedding, just to attend the wedding. But I know that it's going to, one way or the other, it's going to affect my mind, it's going to condition my mind, it's going to help my mindset to cultivate that kind of mental posture that attracts opportunity. So exposure through travel, through relationships, going for events, goes for certain things. Exposure. Expose yourself. This is very, very important. So I'm going to stop here because of our time. There's so much to talk about, but I'm going to stop here because of our time. The conversation will continue in our community. Please, if you are yet to join, kindly click the link in the chat to join the community. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for the opportunity. Over to you, Olayinka. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very, very, very much, sir. Let me be the first to put my clap. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. And I like the way we ended on a fantastic note where we said, expose yourself. So if for the last few hours you've learned from the capital market experts, the personal finance experts, the digital economy experts, and now our mindsets, because there's no point for us to just gather all this information if you don't have the mindset. Some people are in professions that they don't believe is profitable. It says some people went to school and they said these are the professions that are making money. These are the ones that are not making money. And so some people from the university for 4 years, 5 years in the university, they were in courses that they did not believe could make money. So when they came out, but if your mindset is you are a magnet of opportunities, a magnet of income, you're a magnet of customers, then you attract what you so desire. So it is very, very important that one is good to have knowledge, but then is another thing for your mind to be aligned with your goals. Your mind must be aligned with the things that you are wishing for. Otherwise, you attract what is contrary. So I think on the final note for this program is that we addressed our mindsets. Just as we said when we spoke about consulting, we need to be able to set our mindset to, this is who I am, this is what I am worth, this is the value of having me, and this is how your business will change when you have me, right, as a consultant. And so we individually need to go and assess ourselves, assess our current capacities and competencies, and be able to put a value to it. Now, when we now decide that, well, this value, this is the amount of income we can make based on this value, then we need to go and increase that said value. And the way we do that is to gain more knowledge by coming to programs like this. So we encourage you to join the community so that we can you can continue to acquire that knowledge. And as you grow, because we know that knowledge is power. And as you increase the amount of knowledge you have, the more power you have to make more income. So I would like to thank all the speakers today. I'd like to thank them for cramming so much information into so little time. And I encourage all the participants who I'm thanking as well, because your time too is an investment. And I believe that this investment is not wasted to yield you maximum returns beyond 2024 and for the rest of your lives. I encourage you to teach others that which you have learned today. We learn more as we teach. So go back to your notepads, go through them again, practice. You can take this resilience quiz in 3 months' time. 3 months from now, open up the questions and take your resilience quiz and see how well maybe you scored between, somebody asked, what should we do? Those who scored between 0 to 40. Well, put the things that you learned in today's webinar into place. Start to practice. Whatever things we have to learn to do, we learn by doing. Aristotle said that. So as Aristotle said, do it, just do it. And by the beginning of Q2, take another resilient test. And when you do the resilience, tell yourself, okay, I'm planning to score conservatively. I want to move to between 50 and 60. And then we see, so that by the end of the year, you might be talking about being on 70. And so what the resilience quiz gave us was an opportunity to be able to set targets for ourselves, to see how resilient we are and how prepared we are, for the life that we are living. And so I encourage us to go and practice every single thing we learned. Places where we need to make money online, go and look at the websites that were given to us. Build the competencies required. Because again, it's not just competencies. Build the right networks and relationships. Attract, if you're a person of value, I think if for nothing you have learned today, decide to become a person of value so that you can attract other people of value. So that when you attract other people of value, then you have a network of people, not just that gossip and watch football or go to the salon with, but people that actually bring opportunities, share opportunities with you, and you're able to take opportunities that you did not even find yourself. So Coach William emphasized relationships. So let's just summarize that. First, you need to assess yourself. All the speakers told you about that. From the first speaker, the first speaker, assess yourself. It started by assessing your risk appetite and your risk, develop a risk profile for yourself. What is your risk profile? What is your age, your income level? How much risk can you tolerate? What is your risk tolerance? So you assessed yourself. Coach Buki spoke about assessing yourself in terms of your spending, finance, your personal finance, check your leakages, check your triggers, your spending triggers. So we assessed yourself on that. Coach William spoke about assessing yourself in terms of competency and skill, and assessing your mental state and your preparedness. How are you able to take opportunities? What is your current level of income? Why can't you make more money than you are making? And what are the steps that you need to take to make more money? And then Coach Ben has told us to assess our mental state, assess your mindset, assess why do you think like this? Because how you think is determining how much money you are making. So if we all start from that standpoint of our assessing ourselves, then we move to taking active steps, which is to gain more knowledge and build more relationships. We gain knowledge by coming to webinars like this and by joining the community that we have. So in the course of the year and going forward beyond that, there'll be boot camps and there'll be other resources that will be shared. Almost every speaker that spoke here is an author. So you will have resources, you have articles, you have books, and access to tapes. I don't know, tapes are old school now. So access to podcasts and things like that. So after knowledge, build relationships. So this year, focus on building your value by adding to your knowledge and building profitable networks. And I'm sure that as we do that, we will be successful this year. So I'd like to thank everybody that has joined today, and we appreciate you, and we wish you a fantastic 2024. And let's keep this conversation going. Let's keep these relationships going. It's important that even the relationships you have made within this webinar, you do not throw them away. You have access to 40 people who can be 40 potential business partners and 40 potential members of even the same companies. You guys can build startups together and share ideas. Iron sharpened iron. So let's work on the relationships that we have built here, and let's go out. If not for anything, go out with a renewed mindset that you are going to conquer this year. You not allow 2024 to happen to you. You not allow Nigeria to happen to you. You will be the one to happen to Nigeria. That the way you have been built up today, you'll be able to build fruits and make fruits and profit from that which you have learned today. Because it's not just about learning, it's about doing. So go and do and be successful. And that's my charge to everyone who attends today as we close today's session. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day and a fruitful and profitable 2024. Thank you.